Sasangi has been fantastic when he's come off the bench and played in the centres, played in the second row. He's a great player.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. I talked to Seth just before the game as well, and he thinks he'll be right to go next week, which is really, really great to see. Simi's done a wonderful job, but in saying that, he hasn't played week in, week out football out wide, and I'll tell you, it's one of the most important positions defensively, the reads that they have to make out there in the centres. So I think the Knights will target him coming to that right-hand side too, to Dominic Young.
Right, Raymond is the referee. Newcastle kicking off towards the southern end of Canberra Stadium. Ball taken almost on the sideline there by Savage. Managed to stay in the field of play, got the pass away. And ball played back now by Papali'i. Infield it comes now to Hosking. And so the Raiders' first touch of the footy, 15 out from their own line. Starling an acting half. Then it comes to Tapani, and Tapani takes it forward. He stands in the tackle, finally bent back and falls down eventually. 22 metres out from his own line. Now it comes back to Horsburgh, really winding up. That's a great run from Horsburgh. And Horsburgh's going to be tackled by Crossland and put down. 15 short of the halfway. He gets up and plays it back now. Crossland just in the face there and lying across the ball. Starling had to step over him to get it and finally picked it up and ran himself. So 9 short of the halfway. Last tackle as the ball comes back now to Fogarty. It's a high kick in the air, and back there taking it comfortably is Gagai. Dane Gagai, that's a good run from him. He carries players with him. He's forced back now. 19 short of the halfway. Ran straight at Papali'i. Ball comes infield now. It's going to be taken forward now by Hunt. Hunt is tackled. 19 short of the halfway. Set upon by Corey Horsburgh and Tapani. Ball goes now to Saifiti. Saifiti takes it forward. He's 15 short of the halfway. They've only gone 5 metres in 4 tackles so far as the ball comes infield. And it goes wide now to Gamble. Looks for Pierce Paul. That's better. Just short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back now. Brayley at acting half. Right-hand side of the field. Gamble takes on the defence, and Gamble over the halfway. And he's put down 11 metres inside Raiders territory as the ball comes back now. And high kick in the air there from the half-back Cogger. It's high in the air, taking it well. And just a moment of indecision there from the fullback Weeks, but good communication in the end because there are a couple of Raiders players around him. He took it well, and so the Raiders have it about 25 short of the halfway. No score at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and the Knights as Stewart takes it forward now.
Yeah, both teams really great start to this game. Nice line speed, really ripping in defensively, and I think that's a really good tactic for the Knights. They've got to launch this ball and really test Kyle Weeks out at the back there. He's had his troubles there in the past. He's done well so far, but I tell you what, it's a great little play to put the ball high towards him.
Horsburgh takes it forward. He's over the halfway, and Corey Horsburgh's tackled about 2 metres inside Newcastle territory. As it comes back to Starling, wide it goes now to Fogarty. Gets a hurry kick away. Again high in the air. Back there is Gagai. Takes it well. 10 out from his own line. Good chase from the Raiders. He's put down 15 out from his own line. No score at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and Newcastle down to the sideline. Sam Williams.
Both sides have started really well. They're completing their sets. They're getting to their kicks. A player for the Newcastle Knights that I want to make mention, I think he's so important today, Phoenix Crossland. The way that he moves the ball, I think that if they try and play through the middle all day, the Raiders will eat them up. But Phoenix Crossland, he's the one who can create some second phase. He's got a good pass, and he plays very tough and very direct. So I'm keen to see him get the football a bit.
9 short of the halfway as it comes back from Brayley to cross to wide. It goes to Gamble. Chips the ball over the top. Races on back there is Weeks. Takes it comfortably. Dives on the loose ball. And Young dives on him. 25 metres out from their own line. Raiders have possession. 10 metres in from touch. And Kyle Weeks is looking at the touchy this side of the field, saying it was a late tackle. He was down on the ground and then pounced upon by Young. Nonetheless, called upon to play it back as it goes wide now to Savage. Just holds the ball in front of him momentarily. And Savage is caught. He gets up and plays it back. 35 out from his own line. As it goes to the right side, it goes to Hosking. And Hosking charges onto that one. And Hosking just short of the halfway. No score at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and the Knights as the ball comes infield now. It's a long pass to Tapani. And Tapani's over the halfway. Still going, and Joe Tapani is going to be caught by a couple of players. Finally put down by Saifiti. 41 metres out now. Raiders on the attack as it goes wide. It's gone through the hands there of Young. Lost by the Raiders. Lost forward. And Young just put his arms out. I'm not sure that he had a look at the defence coming through, but the ball has come loose for the Raiders. 10 metres inside Newcastle territory, so the Knights with a little bit of field position here.
Yeah, you're right, Tim, and I think you'd be filthy Hudson Young was catchable, even though it was out in front looking to run it on the last play. One thing I'm really liking about the Newcastle Knights is Brayley in at 9 there, really keeping them honest, taking them down the short side.
Ball goes wide now to Gagai, pumps his way through one tackle, gets his arm through. The ball comes back now, it goes to Pierce Paul. He's over the halfway, going to be caught by Starling, a metre inside Raiders territory. Brayley at acting half to Crossland. He goes wide now as it goes to Gamble, back on the inside to Pierce Paul, and Pierce Paul's going to be caught. Slips as he comes towards the defensive line. He gets up now to play it back there. 41 metres up, left-hand side of the field. Taking it forward now is Thompson. Leo Thompson is back slammed to the turf. He's 29 metres out from the Raiders line. Papali'i was the tackler. Left-hand side of the field. Here comes the kick. Going to be picked up by the Raiders, not played at. And so the Raiders have got possession as the kick was charged down. And so Canberra with possession. 30 metres out from their own line as it comes back now to Timacor. And Matt Timacor gets those legs pumping. He's going to be forced back a couple of metres by Sire. Fetty Crossland there as well as it's played back now. Going to be picked up by Savage. He runs from dummy half. That's a good run by Savage. Can't get his arm free for the pass away. And Savage has caught. He's only 5 metres short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back now. Right-hand side of the field. Raiders go down the blind. Starling runs himself. He had Fogarty on his outside, but he took the tackle himself. About 8 metres inside Newcastle territory. 10 metres in from touch. As the ball comes back now from Weeks. Weeks then to Fogarty. Shows the ball. Finally finds Horsburgh with a nice scything tackle there, and he's put down by McEwen with a great tackle. 41 metres out. It's the Raiders on the attack though as it comes back, and it goes to Fogarty. Finds Papali'i on the inside, and Papali'i taking tackles with him. Finally Papali'i's forced down, and he's 29 metres out from Newcastle's line as it goes to the right side. Here comes the high kick from Fogarty. Back there is Gagai. Ball has come loose, going to be picked up by Hosking. Is it on the line? Raiders certainly there, lost forward by Canberra, and so it will be a changeover. Near thing there as Hosking flew through. Ball came loose from Gagai in the in goal. Hosking and a couple of Knights players there to dive on the loose ball, but it was lost forward by Hosking in the first instance. So no score at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and the Knights down to the sideline. Sam Williams.
Yeah, not much has changed since we last came down here. Both sides getting through their sets relatively well, and the Raiders probably just winning a little bit of the territorial battle at the moment. And I agree with Tungy in terms of the kicking. I think that there's a really good opportunity. I know that Jet Stewart's a long way up as well, but Dom Young out here on the right edge for the Knights, I think he's a great target in these conditions.
Young palms his way through one tackle. Young is caught. He gets up now to play it back, and Dominic Young certainly a threat on the right side for Newcastle as it comes infield now. Ball taken forward this time by McCarthy. Called into the side as a replacement for Bradman Best. He's going to be tackled 15 short of the halfway. Wide it goes from Crossland through the hands to Cogger. Then it goes to Gagai. Gagai gets his arm free to Marju. Marju down the left-hand touchline, being pursued by Timacor. Cuts back on the inside, still with the ball, and finally cut down in a good tackle. That tackle was made by Hosking. 35 metres out, right-hand side of the field. It comes back now to Gamble. Gamble's kick has been charged down by Horsburgh. Horsburgh picks the ball up. He's on the 30. Still going Horsburgh. Gets his arm free. Gets the pass away. Chance here for Young, but Young is caught. 11 metres out. Well, Corey Horsburgh didn't have the legs. Ball is loose. It's dived on at dummy half. Lost forward. Lost forward. Yeah. I was saying there that it was lost forward by Newcastle. The ball was going to be played back by Young. Played it back. There was nobody at dummy half. Dived on by Newcastle. Lost forward according to the referee. Horsburgh was there as well. He dived on it just in front of you, Sam. And Corey Horsburgh just didn't have the legs after charging it down. There was nobody in front of him. 30 metres out. It was like he was running on quicksand almost. Just couldn't get there. Got the pass away to Young. Young is tackled 10 metres out.
Gagai has possession.
And the challenge
pushed out of his head one-on-one in the forward direction by the Canberra Raiders. This is a knock-on by the Raiders.
Yep.
The challenge by the Knights is successful.
Sam on the sideline.
I think the review was right. Big Corey, he did this brilliant charge down. He was at open spaces. He could see the try line. The legs couldn't get him there. And then he forgot that he had to get to dummy half the next play. Maybe he's had a bit of a haircut, Big Red. He's got rid of some of them red golden locks. He maybe needs to get them back and get them flowing again.
Newcastle have a scrum feed, 10 metres out from their own line. No score. The Raiders and the Knights.
Yeah, it was a great play, wasn't it, by Corey Horsburgh there? A little extra effort there to be able to do that. I think they were filthy too, where the Gagai was square at marker. I think Joe Tarpany was filthy about that, but I think they've got the call right. Newcastle breathe a sigh of relief. Now got to do some tough stuff coming out of their own end.
In the NRLW, Dragons 6 leading the Broncos 0 full time in the earlier game. Newcastle 30, Parramatta 6. As the ball is about to be played back, Newcastle with possession. And the 25 metres short of the halfway. Thompson was the player that played it back as it goes now to McEwen with a good run. McEwen's put down 15 metres short of the halfway, 10 metres in from touch. Brayley inside, it goes now to Crossland. Oh, absolutely upended. Papali'i was the tackler. Monstered him, 5 short of the halfway. As it comes infield now, it goes to Saifidi. Saifidi's cut down again by Papali'i. 2 tackles in a row. Exhausted as the ball is played back, and Papali'i down in back play too for the Raiders.
Head clash there, Tim, with him and also Corey Horsburgh, sorry.
Ball comes back and it's kicked high in the air. And KO Weeks is there with Josh Papali'i back on the halfway for the Raiders in a bad way, following that head clash with Corey Horsburgh. As the ball is going to be played back, so there'll be a change here for the Raiders. Stewart takes it forward now. Stewart's going to be tackled, and he gets up and plays it back 20 metres out from the Raiders line. Canberra with possession as it comes back now, right-hand side of the field. Ball taken forward by Savage, and Savage standing in the tackle. They're 19 short of the halfway here, the Raiders. No score, Canberra and Newcastle. Now it comes back to Timacor with a good run. Timacor's tackled, 5 short of the halfway. He'll play it back as it goes wide to Starling, through the hands to Tarpany. Then it goes to Savage, to Weeks. What it goes now to Sasangi with a good run. Gets his answer, gets the pass away. Left-hand side of the field as Stewart sprint downfield. On the inside, Weeks with a lovely pass from Young, hit away. Weeks will score for Canberra. Over. First try of the game goes to Canberra. Great run from Simi Sasoni on the left-hand side of the field. He found Jed Stewart on the inside. He found Young, and then flying away was KO Weeks to score the first try for Canberra. It's 4-0 with a kick to come.
And this is what this Canberra Raiders side can do. Really, there's not much going on. They shift the ball from about the 50-metre mark, and it was Simi Sasangi filling in for Seb Christ on that left-hand side with a huge amount of work to do. He actually draws Dominic Young in, but gets a beautiful little offload away. He's got 2 players there hanging off and gets his right arm free. Jed Stewart, he had a bit of work to do. He bobbles the footy but brings it back in. Has the presence of mind to look inside. Who's there? Hudson Young in support. And then the guy who's just committed to 2029 for the Canberra Raiders in Kyo Weeks. Support play back on the inside and runs around and scores next to the post. Well, I tell you what, it was something out of nothing, but great work there from Kyo Weeks to finish it off.
Well, the pass almost went behind Jed Stewart, down to the sideline, Sam.
Yeah, what a brilliant piece of play, and Tungy, you summed it up extremely well. And Jed Stewart, once again, he come into this side, he hadn't played any first grade, but he's been brilliant ever since he did come in. He's outside. Simi Sasangi hasn't played a lot of centres, but these Raiders, they are just stepping up and they're playing really good football, and that was the mismatch, wasn't it? It was Sasangi, he had a really good opportunity to get the outside of his man, and all of a sudden, Jed Stewart's away, and the Raiders are leading 4-0 with a kick to come. It's just the process of what they do, the Raiders. They build into the game, and then they create things out of nothing.
What's the latest? Is Josh Papali'i, is he still out there?
He's still out there, Tim,
wow.
Yeah, but they were certainly having a look at both he and Corey Horsburgh because they came into the tackle both low and clashed heads, and they seem to be okay.
Yeah. So Josh Papali'i is still out there, as is Corey Horsburgh. I thought for certain that Josh Papali'i would be coming off the field, given that he was down on halfway. Anyway, here comes the kick from Jamal Fogarty, almost directly in front to make it 6-0. Canberra over Newcastle. He's kicked it. 6-0. Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. Tim Gable, Alan Tung and Sam Williams with you on ABC Sport this afternoon across Australia. If you'd like to have yours, say 0467 920 222. And Jake from Canberra predicting the mighty Green Machine to win 26-4 here this afternoon. In the NRLW, I can tell you that the Dragons 6 lead the Broncos 0 earlier today. Newcastle 30 defeated Parramatta 6. In the Queensland Cup, 0-0 between the Ipswich Jets and the Dolphins. In the AFL, no score, Richmond and Collingwood. So here we go with the restart. Raiders leading 6-0 as it comes back now to Papali'i. It charges onto that one, and Josh Papali'i is going to be tackled 15 out from his own line, 10 metres in from touch. It comes infield again to Hosking, and Hosking has been one of the best over the last 6 months or so. Even though he suffered that injury, just so good and reliable as it comes back now to Tapani. And Tapani carrying players with him, 3 players there to meet him, and he carries them almost to the 30-metre line. He'll play it back now as it comes infield now to Horsburgh, and Corey Horsburgh is going to be tackled and put down eventually, 9 short of the halfway, always looking for the offload. Corey, as it goes now to the right side, it goes to Papali'i, and Papali'i tackle on the halfway. 6-0 Raiders over Newcastle. Raiders with possession on the last tackle. It goes now from Starling to Fogarty. It's a high kick in the air. Back there is, well, Gagai was there, but it's gone into touch on the full as we see Savage trying to fly through the air and tap it back, but it's gone out on the full on the far side of the field. I was waiting there momentarily, waiting for Dane Gagai to take it, but he pulled his arms back, and so it's gone into touch on the full. It'll come back to the halfway. Newcastle with possession on the halfway, and Saifidi to play it back. 6-0 Raiders over Newcastle.
Yeah, and they're in some really good field position here, Tim, but you're right, with a little bit of that swirling breeze, I can just see the goalpost just moving around. I think it actually favours the Newcastle Knights in this first half a little bit on that occasion. Jamal Fogarty just couldn't, get that one in the right little spot. So great position here now, Knights.
Thompson, who played his junior football here in Canberra, plays it back. It's gone behind a couple of players from dummy half from Brayley, and it's dived on by a Raiders play, also dived on by a Knights player, but it's a knock-on from Newcastle early in the tackle count, and the Raiders will get possession 11 short of the halfway. 6-0 Canberra over Newcastle.
Yeah, just looking at a couple of key stats just to start us off. I mean, I thought up until that play there where Kaya Week scores, probably Newcastle Knights are looking the most likely. Their ball movement right across the field has been brilliant. I know Sam mentioned Phoenix Crossland. They were really starting to cause some troubles to the Canberra Raiders defensive line, but they've got back in it now. Just a touch over 60% with the ball. This is when they can really put some points on.
So the Raiders have got possession through the scum. It comes back to Timokor, and Timokor's tackled. He's 5 short of the halfway. He'll play it back to Starling. Then it goes to Hosking, and Hosking over the halfway. He's 2 metres inside Newcastle territory. Gets up and plays it back now. Starling at acting half. Starling left-hand side of the field. It goes to Horsburgh, who charges onto this one. He's hungry for work, Big Corey, and he's tackled 39 metres out. He'll get up and play it back now. Starling at acting half. He goes down the blind as it goes to Fogarty. Looks for runners, finds Timokor, cuts back on the inside. Timokor still going. Gets his arm through. Gets the pass away as it comes back now to Tapani, and Tapani takes it forward. Stands in the tackle, and Joe Tapane called upon to play it back 29 metres out, left-hand side of the field. Now it goes to Strange, looks for Young, finds him, palms his way through one tackle, then it comes back to Starling, and Starling's absolutely nailed in the tackle by Crossland. They're 22 metres out now from Newcastle's line. Raiders on the attack as it goes to Fogarty, high in the air. Back there is Marju, jumps high in the air, loose on the ground in the in goal, almost coming through to dive on the loose ball. Drop out was Timokor, but it was lost forward by Newcastle in the in goal. It's gone in touch in goal. It'll be a line dropout. It's 6-0 Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. Down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
I've seen a few times now Xavier Savage has been quite flat with Jamal Fogarty. I think they're looking at potentially that early kick in behind Marzu and making it a real foot race and making him turn. The Knights, looks like the Knights are going to get the ball. It's been reviewed, and I think it's come off the Raiders last by the looks of things. But I think that target of Marzu and for the Raiders, Xavier Savage over the top.
What they've ruled here, it was a knock-on by Newcastle in the field of play before it went dead in goal, and so it will be a scrum. 10 metres out from Newcastle's line, it will be a Raiders scrum feed. So this is better, I would have thought, for the Raiders. 6-0 Raiders over Newcastle.
Yeah, it certainly opens up the field. You can see Big Joe Tarpany. He's off Jamal Fogarty's hip here at the moment. So a little bit of a set piece play here. Let's see what the Raiders can come up with.
All right, here we go. 10 metres out. Raiders scrum feed. As the ball is put in, they go down the blind as it comes back now to Savage. Savage almost through. And he's tackled half a metre out. He gets up and plays it back. 6 more here to Canberra as the ball is played back. Infield it comes. Wide now to Papali'i. And Papali'i charging onto that one's almost through. And Papali'i is tackled and bent back 6 metres out as he gets up and plays it back as it goes to Horsburgh, who's lost the ball 5 metres out. Newcastle come up with possession through Piers Paul. They decide to run it. Right-hand side of the field as the ball is taken forward now. And Newcastle with possession, 15 out from their own line. So an opportunity lost there for the Raiders. They had them stretched as the ball is popped back now. Newcastle with possession as the ball is taken forward now by Hunt. And Hunt is going to be caught, gets up and plays it back. He's 20 metres out from his own line. Left-hand side of the field as the ball is taken forward by McEwen now. Petley goes to Newcastle. Petley, Newcastle. And so they've got the penalty 30 metres out from their own line, down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
Knights are going to get themselves into position here to be able to actually have a real crack at the Raiders on their own line. They're moving the ball well. They've got to create the momentum first, and they need to get the nose through. I still believe that Phoenix Crossland is the man. He can create the momentum through playing short or out the back. Last time they came down here, the ball went to the ground. They didn't execute. They've got to execute, but they've got an opportunity.
Ball comes back now to Thompson. Thompson takes it forward and carries players with him, including Horsburgh. He's tackled 41 metres out. He gets up and plays it back now. 6-0 Raiders over Newcastle. The ball goes through the hands to Gagai. Left-hand side of the field to Hunt. Coming back on the inside. Another penalty here to Newcastle.
Here we go. It was actually Tom Starling, a late hit there on Cogger just after he passed the ball. He absolutely lined him up. He's on report as well there, Tim.
Field position here for Newcastle. Pretty good. 30 metres out from the Raiders line. 6-0 Raiders over Newcastle. Tap taken as it comes back now to Saifiti. And Saifiti takes it to about 25 metres out. He gets up and plays it back now. Brayley at acting half. Right-hand side of the field now to Cogger. Through the hands it goes to Gagai. Gagai looks for runners on the outside. Ball taken forward by McCarthy. McCarthy does well there to stay in the field of play. Gagai at acting half. Infield it comes now to Gamble. Through the hands to Crossland. Wide it goes now to Cogger. Cogger through the hands to McEwen. And McEwen's caught. He's only 11 metres out. He gets up and plays it back now. Newcastle on the attack. Crossland sprints across field. Links up with Thompson almost through. Gets a pass away. And Piers Paul has scored for Newcastle. 10 metres to the right-hand side of the upright. They held it up nicely there. Great run from Thompson. Lovely pass to Piers Paul. And Newcastle respond with a try. 6-4 with a kick to come.
All of a sudden the error down the other end of the field there. It was by Corey Horsburgh. A penalty late there for a flop. They get into some great field position and really, really great work. It was at the man. Sam's been talking about him. Phoenix Crossland in the middle. And it was just a bit of a poor defensive read there by Ethan Strange. He just come up a little bit too far in front of his man, just allowing him just to get his nose through and the offload away. A little bit jumpy there from Strange. If he had his time again, he might have just been a bit patient. But what great skills from Leo Thompson. The ball, the flick pass out the back to Piers Paul. Great try, the Newcastle Knights. They're right back in it.
Sam on the sideline.
Really good football, and it was going through. The movement off the ball for the Knights has been really good to watch. They've got a lot of numbers moving out the back, and they've got the halves and the fullback all combining really well. That is what happens. It puts doubt in the opposition defence, and then on that occasion, it was Strange who decided to come in front of his man and creates that hole. But really good ball playing, and they played through, they played direct, but it's the shape and the push out the back that creates the doubt.
Gagai, it'll be make it 6-0, 6-all, moves towards the ball, kicks it. So 6-all, Raiders and Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. Tim Gable, Alan Tung and Sam Williams with it. And listening to the call via this SMS message here, a bunch of soldiers loving listening to the game while cleaning equipment, just having completed several weeks in the field on exercise Talisman Sabre 25. Have a great call, the men and women from the 1st Brigade. Great to hear that you're listening to our coverage. And Johnny Rabbit in Queensland says, great fan of Grandstand, kudos to Alan, the most unbiased and fair commentator going around. There you go. Thank you very much for that, Johnny. Usually we get called many things, but unbiased isn't one of them. 0467920222, 04679222 if you'd like to have yours. Say Tim Gable, Alan Tung, Sam Williams with you this afternoon. 6-all. Raiders and Newcastle, by the way, in the NRLW. 6-all between the Dragons and the Broncos. That's in the NRLW. And in the AFL, I can tell you that it's 7-6. Collingwood leading Richmond in the first quarter. At the moment here at Canberra Stadium, 6-all Newcastle and Canberra. And we see McEwen taking the ball forward now for Newcastle. They've got a bit of a spring in their step after that try just a moment ago. 22 metres out from their own line. Left-hand side of the field, it goes to Cogger. Cogger links on the outside for Hunt. And Hunt is caught, young 19-year-old, 15 metres short of the halfway as it comes back now to Saifidi. But Saifidi is caught 5 short of the halfway, 10 metres in from touch. As it goes now to Cogger, kicks the ball high in the air. Isn't there pressure there from Strange coming through? Back there is Stewart, takes it comfortably under enormous pressure. And 3 players bearing down upon him. And he's taken it well, 20 metres out from his own line, including a very tall player there in Dominic Young, Pierce Paul as well. So he had a couple of very tall players just around him, but he took it well. And the Raiders have got possession 30 metres out from their own line as it comes back now to Weeks, and Weeks takes it forward. So Canberra with possession, 15 metres short of the halfway, right-hand side of the field. It comes back now to Young, and Young takes the ball forward. He's 5 short of the halfway, 6-all. The Raiders and Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium as the ball is played back now, right-hand side of the field. It goes to Horsburgh, through the hands now to Hosking, and Hosking's over halfway, still going, and Hosking is cut down there, 45 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. Infield it comes. Nice tackle by McEwen as it goes now to Fogarty. Wow, high in the air, net gain of about 10 metres. It bounces precariously for everybody. Going to be picked up by Young on the first bounce. And Newcastle have possession 25 metres out from their own line. 6-all, Raiders and Newcastle.
Well, he got the torpedo right there, but it just wasn't deep enough, and that breeze that's just coming into him, especially when the ball goes high, just favoured them. They get out of that, the Newcastle, nice. But I tell you what, they're playing, as Sam mentioned, really great ball movement in and around, and they're starting to really tire out the Raiders there. They're starting to fall off a few tackles.
Okay, so we've got Newcastle with possession at the moment, 11 short of the halfway. Ball about to be played back by Gagai, and from dummy half it's Brayley, links up on the outside and finds Pierce Paul, gets his arm through, gets the pass away, loose on the ground. Gamble sprints downfield, makes another 10 metres or so. Gamble's finally caught 41 metres out after that loose pass as the ball comes back now. It goes to Thompson, wide it goes. Saifidi on the burst. Gee, they're moving the ball around here, Newcastle. 31 metres out, left-hand side of the field now. It goes to Cogger, to Hunt, gets his arm through, gets the pass away to Marju. Hit of a forward pass it was.
They gas the Raiders though, Tim. You look at their body language, they are out. There might be some time to call in a few reinforcements at the moment, but the ball movement from Newcastle at the moment, it is really tiring out the green machine.
So the ball has gone into touch. It will be a Canberra ball. 20 metres out, it went forward. And so it is going to be a Raiders ball, 20 metres out from their own line. 6-all, Raiders and Newcastle. Down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
Just looking at Phoenix Crossland, it's his right shoulder or elbow. He's in a lot of discomfort. I think it happened a little bit earlier in the game when he went to support one of his ball runners and copped the shoulder of Tarpany, but it's certainly causing him some grief. It's just whether or not it's a stinger or anything, but it's too important for him to go off for the Knights.
Ball taken forward now by Savage. He bounced that one off his chest for a moment there and thrust it back in. He's now carried across field a couple of metres. 15 short of the halfway. 6-all, Raiders and Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium as the ball comes back now to Tarpany. Tarpany takes it forward. He's going to be caught just short of the halfway, called upon to play it back. Tarpany now plays it back on the halfway. Infield it comes to Horsburgh. Wide it goes to Fogarty, to Young, and then it goes to Strange. Straight through the gap, he's still going. And Strange is caught from behind by McCarthy. Gets up and plays it back 25 metres out. Now Young from dummy half. Wide it goes now to Papali'i from Fogarty. Papali'i bursting onto that one. And Papali'i's going to be caught. Gets up and plays it back now 10 metres out. As it's played back now to Starling. Wide it goes to Fogarty. High in the air. Crossfield it goes. Marju is there. Going to be picked up though by Tarpany. Tarpany slides into that one. Ball is loose. Joe Tarpany, mad scramble for the ball, lost forward by Newcastle in the field of play. Down to the sideline, Sam.
Well, we spoke about that matchup, and now that's 2 times the last time the Raiders have been down here. They've kicked towards Greg Marshew's wing. They've given Xavier Savage a chance, and the Raiders are coming up trumps. They've got to fix that because they can't afford to be giving away an extra set every time they get down here.
Glenn from South Tamworth listening to the coverage today, as is this one saying that, g'day guys, driving from Tamworth to Sydney, listening to the commentary. Love hearing the Tamworth-born Alan Tongue on the radio. He played with my uncle Phil Graham up the milk, he says. Yes, Phil Graham, wasn't he fast?
He was speed machine out wide. Couple of replacements there, Tim. Artem Mariotta on there for Josh Papali'i, and also Saifidi off there as well. Tyson Frizzell.
Raiders with the ball as it comes back down to Sasangi. Beats the tackle of Gamble. He's through. Try! Try Raiders. Simi Sasangi has scored. As the Raiders won the scrum, they spun it to the left-hand side of the field, 10 metres out, and Simi Sasangi simply too strong for Gamble and has sprinted across the line for a try. Raiders 10, leading Newcastle 6.
Well, I tell you what, he'd be filthy with that, Tyson Gamble. He's a better defender on that occasion, but I don't want to take anything away from the power of this man. He's got great little late feet. Simi Sasangi, formerly at the Newcastle Knights, came to the Raiders for an opportunity. He's just got some slight footwork that just really disturbs the defensive line, and he is strong. Through the hips, he is an absolute beast. Wow. And beats there through, just got through a couple of would-be tackles and goes straight over. Too easy for the Raiders, but great work, Simi Sasangi.
For a player of that size to have that speed and footwork is quite incredible, and we saw a great example of it just a moment ago as he sprinted through 2 tackles to score a try in the corner for the Raiders. 21 metres out, Jamal Fogarty brings the ball back. 10-6, Raiders over Newcastle. Down to the sideline, Sam.
It was only about 15 minutes ago he skipped to the outside of his opposite number, put Jet Stewart away. This time he comes off the outside foot, goes between the halfback and the centre, and let's be honest, defensively that is terrible. It is nowhere near good enough. It's not NRL standard. Missing the way that those 2 defenders missed, he just went straight through. And look, I know he's a big player. I know he's got good footwork, but simply not good enough from the Knights on the edge. And unless they're going to fix that, they may as well have not got on the bus, because Simi Sasangi, very good player, very good try, but terrible defending there from the Knights.
And so here we go, 21 metres out, Jamal Fogarty, 10 metres in from touch. In a bid to make it 12-6, Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. 14 and a half minutes remaining before half-time. He moves towards the ball, kicks it towards the uprights. He has kicked it. So Canberra leading 12-6 over Newcastle at Canberra Stadium. 14 minutes, 20 remaining in the first half. Around the ground, 6-all in the NRLW. The Dragons and the Broncos, 6-all. In the Queensland Cup, Ipswich and the Dolphins, 4-all as well. In the AFL, Collingwood 14, leading Richmond 6. In the Super Netball preliminary final, the Melbourne Vixens 19, leading the Swifts from New South Wales 18. Here today in the New South Wales Cup, the Raiders kept their finals hopes alive in the New South Wales Cup with a 28-16 win over Newcastle. And so the Raiders with possession. They have the ball now about 15 metres out from their own line. Mariotta on the field in place of Papali'i by the looks of it, as the ball is played back. Gee, they look alike at times, don't they, from a distance? And so Mariotta's on the field for Papali'i, and it's Canberra with the ball 30 metres out from their own line through Hosky. He plays it back now. It comes infield to Tarpany, and Tarpany takes it forward, carrying players with him. That's a great run from Joe Tarpany. And he's going to be called upon to play it back. Just short of the 6 more here for Canberra, as he was felled as he got up to play the ball back. And now Horsburgh over the halfway he goes. Corey Horsburgh gets up and plays it back. Raiders leading 12-6 over Newcastle as it comes to Strange. Then it goes to Sasangi. This time they put him down. Gamble was the player that put him down with a lovely tackle. 39 metres out. Infield it comes now to Young. And Young charges onto that one. Young's going to be put down by McCarthy. And he's put down 29 metres out. Raiders on the attack. They lead 12-6 over Newcastle as the ball comes back now to Fogarty, to Hosking. Hosking's absolutely backslammed to the turf. Great tackle made by McEwen. Right-hand side of the field now it goes to Weeks. Weeks is almost through. And Weeks is cut down in a good tackle again by McEwen. They're 11 metres out now from Newcastle's line as it goes wide now to Fogarty. Kicks the ball through and the race is on. It's going to beat everybody dead in goal. It will be a 20-metre restart. 7 tackle set for Newcastle, just in front of you, Sam.
Yeah, Jamal Fogarty, he's got that one wrong. It is a big let-off because they were starting to really control the possession, the game. And once again, I want to give a mention to the Raiders front rows. Josh Papali'i, Joe Tarpany and Corey Horsburgh at lock forward. Gee, they get through a lot of work, and it allows players like Atta Mariota to come on and front-load all their energy, to go hard, to give them some leg speed and then get off.
Ball played back here for Newcastle, 5 short of the halfway. Played back by Frizzell, who's just come on the field. As it goes to the right side now, it goes to Pierce Paul, and Pierce Paul, who scored a try just a moment ago for Newcastle, is tackled. Raiders leading 12-6. He's called upon to play it back 35 metres out. Infield, it comes from Gamble. Wide it goes to Crossland, through the hands to Cogger. Goes wider still now from Gagai. Gagai looks for Marju. Marju is cut down and put into touch, far side of the field. No, he's actually left the ball behind him, and it's picked up on the left-hand side of the field by the Raiders. Timokor was the player across there that picked it up, and so Canberra with possession now as Weeks runs from dummy half just on the edge there. Weeks is going to make another 10 metres or so, and he's put down 30 metres out from his own line. So the Raiders with possession now through Hosking, and Hosking is caught. He's 19 metres short of the halfway. 12-6 Raiders over Newcastle. 11 and a half minutes remaining before half-time. Mariota takes it forward now, standing in the tackle, still going, and Mariota's finally forced down 11 metres short of the halfway. Starling at acting half now. Left-hand side of the field it goes to Tump, and he looks on his outside, finds Horsburgh on the burst, and Corey Horsburgh's caught 5 metres short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back now. At dummy half it comes from Starling. Wide it goes to Fogarty, high in the air, and across there is Gagai. Takes it comfortably. Thompson is coming off the field too for Newcastle. And coming on is Hetherington. Jack Hetherington, of course, the son of Brett, who played 100 games for the Raiders, more than 100. Ball comes back now to Hunt. Hunt takes it forward. He's 5 short of the halfway. It's 12-6 Raiders over Newcastle. And Newcastle just winding up again. Frizzell takes it forward.
Yeah, they've dusted off that, poor defensive display on Simi Sasangi there before, and they've got back into their rhythm. They're in some really good field position and looking to move the football as a little bit of rain starts to trickle down.
McEwen takes it forward now. He's 39 metres out. Infield it comes to Crossland. Crossland goes wide. Links up now with Hetherington. It charges onto that one. He's going to be caught. He's 29 metres out. Raiders leading 12-6 over Newcastle. Rain coming down here at Canberra Stadium. You hear the umbrella going up on the sideline. Ball left-hand side of the field to Gagai. Through the hands it goes to Marju. Kicks it through. It's in the in goal. Back there is Weeks. Gee, juggled that one momentarily. Raiders have got it. Punched dead in goal by Young. Seemingly had it covered. Did KO Weeks. A little bit going on. A little bit of push and shove. Hetherington involved.
Yeah, he loves it, doesn't he? And who is he up against? The other guy? Hudson Young. Geez, that's a good battle there.
So the ball has been punched dead in goal by Canberra. It'll be a line dropout. And coming on for the Raiders, they have a replacement out there as well. Just having a look who's come off. Anyway, bring you that one in just a moment. By the looks of it, yeah, Morgan Smithy's out there. Yeah, Tarpany is off. And so a change there for the Raiders. Oh, yes, Joe Tarpany's actually moved off the ground in the in goal. That's a huge kick downfield. It's gone over the halfway. It's rolling towards the 20. Newcastle's end of the field. The Knights have it now through Frizzell. Frizzell's going to be tackled 30 metres out from his own line as he came towards Young. Smithy's there as well. He gets up and plays it back, absolutely crunching the tackle as it goes to Hetherington. And the Hetherington monster down there. And he's put down 15 short of the halfway. Great kick though. Normally they do those 10-metre kicks and it goes 11 metres, but this one went over the halfway back to the 20, Newcastle's end of the field. Wide goes now from Gamble. Gamble then to Cogger. Through the hands it goes to Gagai. Gagai still going. Gagai's going to be caught there by Fogarty and put down. And he's put down 39 metres up, 10 metres in from touch. It's 12-6. The Raiders over Newcastle as it comes back now to Cogger. Cogger with a darting run. He's going to be put down. Good tackle made there by Timokor. Again they go down the blind here, Newcastle. The chip over the top from McEwen. It rolls around in the in goal. Back there is Savage. He punches the ball dead in goal. Newcastle under the pump here, the Raiders defensively. By the looks of it, Josh Papali'i about to come back onto the field. Let's go down to the sideline. Sam Williams.
Yeah, Tarpany's just come off and it looks like Josh Papali'i is going to re-enter the field. Look, last time in the drop kick, Jack Cogger didn't get within 10 metres of it. I'm good. No doubt Jamal Fogarty will go long again. And Jack Hetherington, he is MAD mad. When he comes off the back fence, it's a sight to see. I love seeing it. Front row's going head to head. I want to give it to Jack now.
Okay, there's the kick. It goes out to the halfway, taken by Cogger. Offloads to Frizzell, and the defence comes towards him, and Frizzell makes it back 32 metres out from the Raiders line. Raiders leading 12-6, but Newcastle with some momentum at the moment as it goes to Brayley. Wide it goes to Hetherington. Chock full of angry pills, takes it forward, and he's 25 metres out. He gets up and plays it back. Papali'i back on the field too for the Raiders. Is that a forward pass from dummy half from Newcastle? Coach killer. 25 metres out to the Raiders line. The Raiders to get possession. The Raiders are out on their feet at the moment because Newcastle throwing the ball around in this first half. It's 12-6. Canberra over Newcastle. 7 minutes remaining before the break. It will be the Raiders to get possession. 25 out from their own line.
I think it was because he didn't play the ball square there. Hetherington, he's been good.
I thought he moved in a forward motion there for a moment.
I'm not sure what it was, but anyway, that's a big mistake because they had the Raiders on the rack there, the Newcastle Knights. Their ball movement, and in particular to their left-hand side. Here we go. A roll ball here from the Raiders. Newcastle Knights, it's back in your favour.
Well,
here we go. Some real discipline here.
So from both sides, Newcastle a moment ago, now Canberra. Newcastle to get possession 30 metres out from the Raiders line. So Newcastle on the attack. And they're 31 metres out as Hetherington's called upon to play it back as it comes infield from Brayley to Piers Paul. Heavy tackle made by Young, who puts him down 29 metres out, 12-6. The Raiders over Newcastle. Newcastle low on the attack through Gamble. Through the hands it goes to Frizzell. Can't get his arm free for the pass away. And he gets up and plays it back 19 metres out. Right-hand side now. It goes to Cogger. Floating pass there to Hetherington. Charges onto that one. Hetherington's caught. He's only 12 metres out from the Raiders line. Still Newcastle on the attack as the ball is played back to Brayley. Goes himself. Left-hand side to Crossland now. And Crossland searches for a gap. He's only 5 metres out. He's called upon to play it back. He gets up now to play it back. It's Brayley at acting half. Left-hand side of the field to Cogger. Cuts out two players. Finds Gagai on the outside. Then it goes to Marju. Marju's across for a try. Newcastle in. Newcastle try. 12-10 with a kick to come.
Well, they've certainly persisted with going to their left-hand side, trying to take on Tim McCaw and Savage. And I tell you what, they've been really good, their defensive principles to start this game, really getting some great work from the inside from Fogarty and also Zach Hosking. On this occasion, they just play into the line there. Gagai, Xavier Savage just comes up a touch too hard, wedging in. That just opens the play to get the ball to that outside in Marju. Great work from the Newcastle Knights. A little bit of ill discipline from both teams, but it's certainly been better field position, and they make them pay. We could be all locked up here, Tim.
Well, the Raiders really have clocked off, it's fair to say, in the last 10 minutes as Newcastle have really come over the top of them. The Raiders, after that try to Simi Sasagi, really haven't been in the game. It's 12-10 with a kick to come from the sideline. Down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
Yeah, both of the Newcastle Knights tries have come off a bit of poor discipline from the Raiders, whether it be a 7-tackle set, a penalty, or on this occasion a roll ball in the ruck. Defensively on the right side there, Xavier Savage, he just came in on nobody. He thought his inside man in Matty Timbercore was going to go and get the fullback. He went, the ball hadn't gone there, and it just left a massive gap there for Marzu to walk over. They've had their issues on that right edge throughout the year. I think the Knights know that, and they're still trying to target it, but a really, really bad read there from Savage.
4 minutes 20 remaining before half-time. Gagai from the sideline moves towards the ball, kicks it towards the uprights. He's tipped it 12-all at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and Newcastle. Tim Gable, Alan Tung and Sam Williams with you on ABC Radio across Australia today. Around the grounds, 10-6 in the NRLW, 10 to the Broncos, 6 to the Dragons. In the Queensland Cup, it's 10-4. The Dolphins lead the Ipswich Jets. In the AFL, it's 21-13. Collingwood leading Richmond. In the Super Netball preliminary final, it's now the Swifts 30, leading the Melbourne Vixens 28. And Jack Hetherington, yes, of course, a couple of texts here coming through regarding Jack. He's the son of Brett, who played, as I say, over 100 games here for the Raiders a number of years ago during the glory years in the 90s. As Newcastle with possession now as the ball comes back, and it goes to Frizzell. And Frizzell certainly has added something since he's come on the field off the bench. He'll play it back 20 metres out. Slow to play it back too as it comes in field. Now it goes to Marju, the try scorer. Bullocking run from him, and he's tackled. Gets up and plays it back now, 21 short of the halfway as it goes to to Crossland. Certainly playing with width here this afternoon. Newcastle as it goes to Young. Young gets his arm through, gets the pass away as it goes inside to McCarthy. And McCarthy's going to be stopped there almost immediately by Stewart. He gets up and plays it back on the halfway. It comes infield. Now it goes to Pierce Paul, who straightens up. And Pierce Paul is going to be caught 45 metres out. It's 12-all at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and Newcastle as the ball comes back now. It goes to Crossland through the hands to Cogger. Cogger goes wide to Gamble. Gamble sprints onto that one, gets the pass away to Hunt, and Hunt is caught immediately. They have the ball. Newcastle certainly spinning it from one side of the field to the other. Great to see. And they're 19 metres out, 5 metres in from touch on the last tackle. It comes back to Gamble, kicks the ball across field. It's going to be taken by Young. Still the last tackle. Pierce Paul has it now. He gets a hurried pass away to Cogger. Cogger kicks it across field. Back there for the Raiders, going to be taken in the end by Savage. Savage now straightens up, still going Xavier Savage, almost through. Gee, they clocked off there, Newcastle, after the kick came through, and Savage sprinted downfield, made 30 metres. So the Raiders have it now to Tinnacor, and Tinnacor's bundled down to the ground here, 15 metres short of the halfway. Starling at acting half. Ball goes wide now, and it goes to Strain. Sorry, Alan.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Newcastle Knights, there's a couple of minutes go half-time here. They really need to dig deep here. They're on top at the moment. They can't afford for the Raiders to score just before half-time. They've worked too hard to get back into this game.
12-all, Raiders and Newcastle. Raiders with possession. 2.5 minutes remaining before the break as it comes infield now to Papali. Goes wide to Fogarty. And Fogarty's almost through. Tackled there in the end by Cogger. And he gets up and plays it back 39 metres out. Ball comes back now and it goes wide to Timmacor. Timmacor has a player on the outside. That's Savage. Savage prints away. Try in the corner. Xavier Savage has flown through to score a try for Canberra. Something again out of nothing. The Raiders have scored in the corner. Xavier Savage has scored. Canberra now leading 16-12 with a kick to come.
I tell you what, you could just feel it, couldn't you, as the heavens start to open up. The rain's tumbling down here now. People are running for the ponchos, and up goes the ABC umbrella down there with Sammy Williams on the sideline. But I tell you what, you could just feel the Raiders. They could just go, you know what, we've got to have a crack at them just before half-time. The Newcastle Knights, they just couldn't hang on, and it came down to fifth play. Fogarty was caught with the ball playing it, so they were all looking at Ethan Strange, and it was Hudson Young. He was the man, demanded the footy, took it down that right-hand side, a couple of little short passes, and they eventually get it on a Savage, the speedster out wide. He made a poor defensive read moments ago, but this time he hits back with a four-pointer in the right corner.
16-12, Raiders over Newcastle. Kick to come as the rain tumbles down here at Canberra Stadium, down to the sideline. Sam Williams.
Well, he is one of the greatest men in the world, Alan Tongue, and at the start of this game he said to me, Sammy, I'll do the sideline for you if you would like. Tongue, you want to do the second half?
Mate, I think they need me up here. I'll just
It's just, I've put this umbrella up 10 times in this first half, but that little shower that's come through at the moment is as heavy as it's been. But you're right on half time, and just going at speed, good skill passes out in front, and then making you make reads on the edge. The Raiders, it's not complicated footy, but they're scoring points.
Neil listening to our coverage while driving back from Melbourne after watching the Wallabies last night at the MCG. Says shout out to his mate Tom. So there you go the Raiders, he says. And the Raiders easing off momentarily here, but it is forecast for the rest of the day. 16-12, Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. 38 seconds remaining before half-time. In the NRLW, Broncos 12 leading the Dragons 6. In the Queensland Cup, 10-all, Ipswich and the Dolphins. In the AFL, 21-13, Collingwood lead Richmond, 21-13. The Magpies leading the Tigers. And in the Super Netball preliminary final, the Swifts 31, leading the Vixens 29. As we see Jamal Fogarty about to line it up, but the ball has rolled off the tee.
And just as he lines that one back up, Tim, just the importance of a Josh Papali. I know you had that chat in the pre-game about the importance to him, but Ricky Stewart knew. Tyson Frizzell, as you mentioned, has come on and done a really great job. Hetherington lifted them as well. He needed to get one of his big guns on. He needed to take Tarpany off, but he put it back on his key statesman there in Josh Papali just to get in front of there again. So really great play there from a couple of the more experienced guys at the Raiders. Come on.
Here we go. From the sideline, Jamal Fogarty kicks it towards the uprights. He's kicked it. 18-12. The rain is getting heavier here at Canberra Stadium, nothing else. So 18-12 at half-time at Canberra Stadium. Just your thoughts, Alan, on that first half. Newcastle, really, I thought they took it to the Raiders, and for a patch there for about 10 or 15 minutes, it was all Newcastle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think, definitely the back end of this first half, Newcastle have looked the more likely side. A couple little defensive lapses from both sides, probably. The Raiders have let in a couple of tries, but the Newcastle Knights, they've just got to go back. They've got to stick to their game plan, because what it does, it is actually really frustrating the Raiders. It's moving them around. It's tiring them out. The Raiders here too, a little bit of ill discipline crept in. They need to go back through the middle of them and then use their speed out wide.
I said half-time, 23 seconds remaining, 11 seconds remaining now. The Raiders have got possession as it comes back to Papali'i. He takes it forward. He's 20 metres out from his own line. 3 seconds remaining before the break. Right-hand side of the field it goes now to Mariota. Raiders to the wide, it's been intercepted. And downfield, ball is taken by Hunt. Sprints away. This will be a try to Newcastle. He has scored underneath the post. An unbelievable finish to the first half. Hunt has scored for Newcastle. The young fella from Warren, 19 years of age, has popped it out of the air, 20 metres out, sprinted away to score a try underneath the post for Newcastle. 18-16 with a kick to come directly in front on the stroke of half-time. Unbelievable.
This is crazy. This is set up now for a cracking second half, I tell you what. But there was really nothing going. It's pretty crazy that the Raiders even tried to do it, to be honest there, Tim. There was really nothing going on. They were jamming in, and Jamal Fogarty, if he had that time again, he holds on to that footy. But great work. Gets that left mid out there, and the Warren, I tell you, the pub out there would be going berserk at the moment. He runs and scores and puts the Newcastle Knights a chance to come 18 apiece at half-time. A lapse in concentration, and Newcastle Knights, bang, they're right back into it.
Pretty sure Ricky walked past us into the tunnel with 23 seconds remaining, believing that was going to be half-time, 18-12. But he would have heard the cheers or the roar or the boos from the crowd as Newcastle scored an intercept try. And it's 18-16 with the kick to come from Dane Gagai directly in front. Quite an unbelievable 23 seconds remaining after the Raiders scored that try down the other end of the field. And Newcastle have scored an intercept try to, you'd think, level the scores at Canberra Stadium as Dane Gagai has the ball lined up now, 15 metres out, directly in front. He's kicked it. 18-all at Canberra Stadium. Unbelievable. Let's go down to the sideline, Sam.
Well, remarkable finish that. It's all been said. I mean, Jamal Fogarty, just tuck it under your wing, get into half-time, go in with a 6-point lead, but just plucked out of the air. And what it does, it takes the momentum out of the Raiders going into half-time. The Knights, they're the ones with the chest up. They're the ones with the momentum. They're the ones who go into half-time thinking, we've got a really big opportunity here to make a boil over. 18-all going into half-time. They would have taken this every day of the week. It's going to be interesting to see how Ricky refocuses the Raiders after a very ordinary last 20 seconds.
Yes, I just saw Andrew Bishop walking in front of us down the tunnel to deliver the good news to Ricky Stewart. Imagine now that we greeted. 18-all at Canberra Stadium. I must admit, I thought 23 seconds remaining, that was it. Joe Tarpany's actually got the players in a huddle close to the halfway before going into the shed. So, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right, Tim. He actually went to the referee to start off there too, because I think he's been a little bit frustrated. I think that's what teams are going to do. They're really going to try and ruffle the feathers, so to speak, of the Raiders, and really try a little bit of niggle, slow the play the ball down. And you can see that it's frustrating Joe Tarpany. He's brought his team together just to calm the nerves, refocus here at half-time. If I just look through a couple of the key stats there, we're talking it's 18 apiece here. Well, it ended up 50-50 in possession at the back end of that game. It was Raiders early who dominated, then the Newcastle Knights at that back end, and then all of a sudden it's ended up 50-50. The run meters are pretty similar there too, 814 to the Newcastle, 760 to the Raiders. Tackle made, it's all pretty even, missed tackles and everything. We're in for a real game here in this second half. The start's going to be important. Once again, the conditions, it's going to be tough football, completions. When there's been a lapse in defensive play or a couple little errors, points have come on the back of that, so they're going to really need to be squeaky squeaky clean in this second quarter.
Let's go down to the sideline. Sam, just a quick word from you before we go back to the ABC newsroom.
Yeah, look, I think that both sides would like to have some moments back, but defensively, I think that there's been a couple of tries that I think they've been a little bit soft, and I think that there's not like it's been the miraculous shape that's been coming at them. At times, they've come up with some really poor reads. So defensively, I think both sides will look to be better in the second half.
Good on you, Sam, on the sideline. And Jeff in Sunshine says the Canberra are on top of the ladder. Says a lot about the quality of the competition this season. It's all very close,
Yes,
isn't it?
you're right.
18 all, Raiders and Newcastle. If you'd like to have yours, say 0467 920 222, 0467 920 222. I can tell you too, in the NRLW, 18-6, the Broncos lead the Dragons at the moment, while in the AFL, it's 21-20, Collingwood leading Richmond into the second quarter. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes' time, but firstly to the ABC newsroom.
With Satyam Weinstein. Shadow Foreign Minister Michaelia Cash is accusing the Albanese government of failing to condemn the militant group Hamas. The Prime Minister's repeatedly condemned Hamas in the October 7 attacks which sparked the war in Gaza and called on the militant group to release the Israeli hostages it's holding. But Anthony Albanese's also accused Israel of breaching international law by blocking the flow of aid into Gaza and warned it's losing international support. Senator Cash has told Sky Mr. Albanese should be laying blame for the war squarely at the feet of Hamas.
Should Israel be getting more aid in to civilians in Gaza? Absolutely. But let us not be blind, Andrew, to the reality. Any moral outrage is with the terrorists.
An Egyptian state-affiliated media outlet is reporting aid trucks have begun moving from Egypt towards Gaza. It comes after the Israeli military announced humanitarian corridors would be established for safe movement of United Nations convoys delivering aid to the people of Gaza, and that humanitarian pauses would be implemented in densely populated areas. It follows mounting international pressure on Israel and warnings from relief agencies of malnutrition and starvation spreading in the territory. An analyst says pressure from the ASEAN bloc may help bring Cambodia and Thailand closer to a ceasefire after 3 days of fighting along their border. U.S. President Donald Trump says the two countries have agreed to hold immediate talks after earlier threatening to stop trade talks with both sides if the conflict continues. Melissa Coney-Tyler from the University of Melbourne's Asia Institute says ASEAN countries are also pushing for a ceasefire.
They will put pressure on as much as they can collectively to try to bring this back to a simmer rather than a boil. From ASEAN's perspective, this is its great achievement, that it has stopped interstate warfare between countries in the ASEAN bloc, and they don't want that to disappear.
A Sudanese coalition led by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces has formed a parallel government after 27 months of civil war. The BBC's James Reid reports.
The civil war that's devastated Sudan began as a rivalry between two generals who previously shared power. Both have now set up governments in areas they control. The RSF commander, Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, will lead a 15-man presidential council that includes several regional warlords. A civilian has been named as prime minister. The move could drive Sudan further towards partition. The RSF is entrenched in the south and west, particularly in Darfur. The army, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, controls much of the rest of the country and recently recaptured the capital, Khartoum.
Former Tasmanian Labor leader and newly elected federal member for Lions, Rebecca White, says it's reasonable for the major parties to speak with the crossbench following the recent snap state election. The Liberals have won at least 14 seats following last Saturday's election, while Labor has at least 10, the Greens 5 and Independents 4, with 2 seats still in doubt. Both major parties are continuing discussions with crossbenchers as they look to form minority government. Ms. White says the election results demonstrate that a majority of Tasmanians voted for a progressive political party or an independent.
I think it is entirely reasonable that parties take time to talk with that crossbench, wait for results to be finalised. We still have some time before all the votes are counted, and to make sure that we deliver a parliament that is stable and works in the best interests of Tasmania.
Businesses caught selling illegal tobacco could face bigger penalties and have their stores closed under new proposed laws in New South Wales. Tony Ibrahim has the details.
The state government says it will introduce new legislation to crack down on the sale of illegal tobacco and vapes. Business owners convicted of possessing or selling illicit tobacco would face fines of up to $1.5 million and 7 years in prison. Businesses could also be closed for up to a year or have their rental leases cancelled. The government says the changes would be in addition to the tobacco licensing scheme introduced this month. More than 6 million cigarettes and 90,000 vape products have been seized in the first half of the year.
And Mexico City is marking the 700th anniversary of its founding. Artists in indigenous clothing have reenacted the founding of the city, while hundreds of dancers dressed in traditional clothing and feather headdresses have performed sacred dances meant to connect with nature. The anniversary commemorates the establishment of Tenochtitlan by the Aztecs, who settled in the area in 1325. You're up to date with the latest from ABC News. Get more news at any time. Download the ABC Listen app.
Everyone's an expert at something. It's what makes us all special. If only that were true.
Join Tom Gleeson for brand new Hard Quiz.
No expert subject turned away.
Wednesday nights on ABC TV and ABC iView.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Premiership.
5 short of the halfway. He'll play it back as it goes wide to Starling, through the hands to Tumpany. Then it goes to Savage, to Weeks. Wide it goes now to Sasangi with a good run. Gets his arm through, gets the pass away. Left-hand side to the fielder, Stewart sprint downfield. On the right side, Weeks with a lovely pass from Young, hit away. Weeks will score for Canberra. Over. First try of the game goes to Canberra. He's only 11 metres out. He gets up and plays it back now. Newcastle on the attack. Crossland sprints across field. Links up with Thompson almost through. Gets the pass away. And Pierce Paul has scored for Newcastle. 10 metres to the right-hand side of the upright. They held it up nicely there. Great run from Thompson. Lovely pass to Pierce Paul. And Newcastle respond with a try. 39 metres out. Ball comes back now and it goes wide to Timagore. Timagore has a player on the outside. That's Savage. Savage prints away. Try in the corner. Xavier Savage has flown through to score a try for Canberra. Something again out of nothing. 3 seconds remaining before the break. Right-hand side of the field it goes now to Mariota.
Oh, look out.
Wide, it's been intercepted. And downfield. Ball is taken by Hunt. Sprints away. This will be a try to Newcastle. He has scored underneath the post. An unbelievable finish to the first half. Do you think level the scores at Canberra Stadium as Dane Gagai has the ball lined up now 15 metres out. Directly in front. He's kicked it. 18 all at Canberra Stadium. Unbelievable.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Yes, an extraordinary finish to the first half here at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and Newcastle locked up at 18 all. And the second half will get underway very shortly. But in the meantime, let's go now to Andrew Moore and the team with the Bulldogs playing Manly a little later on this afternoon at the football stadium. Andrew.
Yeah, Timmy, you've got a great second half coming up there, and we've got a great end to round 21 here at the SFS. They opened the gates about 15 minutes ago, and we're thinking we'll get well over 30,000 here for this game between Canterbury Bankstown and Manly Warringah. Manly's won 4 in a row against the Bulldogs, including in that elimination final at Stadium Australia last year with a crowd of over 51,000. Bulldogs to this day kicking themselves for letting that slip, but Manly won on that occasion 24-22, and it is the first time the Bulldogs have actually played at this new version of the Sydney Football Stadium as they celebrate 30 years since that 1995 grand final win over Manly Warringah at the old version of the SFS. Team news due shortly. Hooker or backup hooker Jake Simpkin is ruled out of the bench for Manly because of concussion protocols, and Gordon Chan Kum Tong will replace him. Referee Ashley Klein with Chris Butler in the bunker. Canterbury third at the moment, and Manly ninth. Luke Lewis. So a very important game for both teams. Bulldogs to get back into the top 2 and Manly to get back inside the top 8. Should be a beauty.
Yeah, it should be a beauty, and we should get an absolute cracking crowd here this afternoon as well. But Manly, yeah, I feel like they need a win. They've got the wood over the Bulldogs in the last few games. They'll have a little bit of confidence coming here this afternoon. And the Bulldogs looking to get back up in that top 2. It's a big one for both sides. I'm sort of leaning towards Manly today. I don't know why. I just feel like when you have got a bit of a wood over a team, it just seems to flow that way. I don't know why. We couldn't beat Manly at Cronulla there for a while. So I feel like Manly can get away with the win this afternoon.
And John Gibbs, himself a former Manly halfback, they have won 3 in a row. They've seemed to have settled their season down nicely, and that they've looked good, where Canterbury, as we talked about earlier, has looked a little bit fatigued. They've been struggling a bit, and all teams will go through that at some point. I don't know whether that means anything going into today, does it?
No, I think this is a big match and it's a big occasion. I think that will get rid of some of those things and, celebrating the 1995 victory of the Dogs over Manly. I think there's going to be a big crowd and they're going to make a lot of noise, but they're evenly matched, there's no doubt about that. What I'm going to find interesting is how Tom Trbojevic goes in centres, marking up against Bronson Xerri. Now, Bronson Xerri is a very direct player, runs hard, and the bottom line is, though, Tom, since he's been moved to the centres, has won 3 games.
Yes.
So, and the other forward that's got to do a good job if Manly are to beat the Bulldogs today is Matt Lodge, and he's been doing a good job charging the ball up. He's won his last 3 games. He's, since he came back. So there's a few things at play here. Manly has plenty of pace. Jerry Evans versus Galvin, another great sidelight, but I think it's going to be an evenly matched game. I think the Dogs will just prevail.
I feel like Manly need to start well today because the Bulldogs have really been struggling in the second 40. If they can get their first 40 minutes right and get into the game, maybe get in front gun at half time, they'll be pretty confident coming into the second half. The Bulldogs have struggled in the second 40 minutes of a few games.
Team news just coming through. The back lines are intact, and it looks like both starting lineups are intact. Canterbury is 1-17, and their 18th man will be Jethro Rinakama, who scored their winning try against St George Illawarra last week. The only change for Manly, it appears, does come on the bench, replacing Jake Simpkin. Jersey number 22, Gordon Chan Kum Tong, and Tommy Talau will be their 18th man. And look, people get sick and tired of hearing Lockie Galvin's name, but the fact is it is going to be an intriguing matchup, he and Burton against the Manly halves, Brooks and Daly, Cherry Evans, because as Gibbsy said earlier, Louis, it's the youngest halfback in the comp against the oldest.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 good battles. Obviously, Daly Cherry Evans playing some outstanding football when he's right, and then Lockie Galvin can play good football. The other thing that's making me excited is the old trophy that's sitting down there by the sideline. I love the look of it.
From 30 years ago. All right, so Louis, you're tipping Manly. You're tipping Canterbury, Gibbsy?
Yeah, in a close one.
I'm tipping Manly, so we'll see. Nothing between them at Canberra Stadium. Back to you, Tim Gable.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, both teams out on the field for the start of the second half. We'll go down to Sam Williams. He's down there now. Sam, the second half, I guess both coaches would have had differing views on that first half. Adam O'Brien would have been very happy with the way his side performs. Ricky Stewart would have been frustrated.
Yeah, and we thought that Ricky might have been going off his lid and been really cranky at half-time after that last try, but he was pretty circumspect about it. He was happy to see them use the football. It was just poor execution. He doesn't want them to go away from using the football. He wants them to still play direct, but he still wants them to earn the right, and that's the key. Earn the right, because we saw in the first half they missed tackles. For the Knights, it was about continuing to use the footy. Try and go around them, try and use the football, and then let's make it a hit out. Let's score points.
Marju brings the ball back now for Newcastle. So second half underway. Newcastle running from the Snowy Mountains end of the field, I think it's fair to say. Southern end of Canberra Stadium as the ball is taken forward now by Frizzell. And Frizzell is caught. He's 25 metres short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back. 18 all. Newcastle and the Raiders. As it goes now to Hetherington. Stands in the tackle. He's going to be caught and put down. He gets up and plays it back now. 15 short of the halfway. Right-hand side of the field to Crossland. To Pierce Paul. Pierce Paul doing some damage out wide. He's over the halfway. Very tall player. Hard to put down. And finally brought to halt there. About 5 metres inside the Raiders territory. Infield it comes now to Frizzell. And Frizzell really winding up his court. 31 metres out. Love seeing him in full flight. He gets up and plays it back now as it goes from Cogger to Gamble. High kick in the air. And back there is Weeks. Takes it comfortably. Comes towards the chase. Caught in a high tackle. Referee says play on. Dominic Young was through there. 10 metres out from their own line. Raiders with possession as it comes back now to Stewart. And Stewart is caught. He's 12 out from his own line. He gets up to play the ball back now to Fogarty. Fogarty then to Timmercourt. Timmercourt tries to brush out wide. And eventually caught there and dragged down by Cogger. Called upon to play it back in front of Hunt. Infield it comes now. And it goes to Papali'i. And Josh Papali'i's going to be caught. He's 25 short of the halfway. halfway. Gets up and plays it back now. McEwen was the tackler. Infield it comes now to Smithies, and Smithies runs across field. He straightens up now, and Smithies is going to be caught. But he's 15 short of the halfway. 18 all at Canberra Stadium. The Raiders and Newcastle. As the ball comes back now to Fogarty, kicks it downfield. It goes behind Gagai. It rolls around in the in goal. It's back there. It's going to go dead in goal. It's got dead in goal. So they'll bring it back to the 20 for a 7-tackle set. 18 all, Raiders and Newcastle.
Yeah, just a couple inches too long there from Jamal Fogarty on that kick. It was a right one. Got it at the top of Gagai, but just slid a little bit too far. Really nice opening first set from the Newcastle Knights. Running onto that footy nice and hard. Tyson Frizzell really been great off the bench and getting into some good field position.
Piers Paul takes it forward now. He's 15 short of the halfway. He gets up and plays it back now. Left-hand side of the field, it goes to Brayley. Brayley with a good run. Of course, he has signed with the Raiders for next year. He plays it back now. A couple of metres short of the halfway as it goes from Cogger. Cogger goes wide to McEwen. McEwen's got a good tackle. Timmickle was the tackler and put him down on his back 5 metres inside the Raiders territory. Still Newcastle on the attack as it goes wide to Crossland. Through the hands to Gamble to Gagai. Gagai goes wider still. Ball taken forward by McCarthy. McCarthy's flung to the turf. He gets up and plays it back now. Newcastle still on the attack though. 31 metres out. 18 all here at Canberra Stadium. Frizzell takes it forward now. He's met by a couple of Raiders players. Mariotta, Papali'i's there. And they put him down on his back. 21 metres out. Right hand side now. It goes to Gamble with the kick over the top. And back there is Weeks. And Weeks takes it comfortably in the in goal. Makes it out into the field of play only just. Well done to KO Weeks under enormous pressure there. And so the Raiders have it 5 metres out from their own line. It's 18 all. Raiders and Newcastle. Raiders fans believing it was a high tackle on Jed Stewart. Down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
Oh, it's been an impressive first 3.5 minutes for the Knights. They've come out with a really good attitude, moving the ball well, running with purpose, and then defensively, they've been excellent. It's a great start for the Knights. They're giving themselves every opportunity.
And so it's the Raiders with possession now. Canberra have it. About, 21 short of the halfway. Last tackle here for the Raiders. Good defensively for Newcastle as it goes to Fogarty again. Kicks it downfield on the angle. And he's found touch 22 metres out from Newcastle's line. So Jamal Fogarty obviously looking for that 20-metre line. It bounced just in front of it. Nice kick nonetheless. Slowing things down a little bit. Will be Newcastle to get possession 25 metres short of the halfway. Middle of the field. 18 all. Raiders and Newcastle.
Yeah, he tried that little banana kick there last week and nearly come off. He got just pulled up short of that 40-20 on that occasion. Just couldn't get the bounce, but also some really good kick pressure from the Newcastle Knights. They're running hard, they're tackling hard, and they're doing the little things right to start this second half.
Dominic Young plays the ball back as it's downfield with McCarthy, and McCarthy's caught. He's 11 short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back to Gamble. Infield it goes to Piers Paul now. Piers Paul charges onto that one. He's over the halfway. As I said a moment ago, he's proven to be a handful at times for the Raiders defence as it goes to Crossland. Looks on the outside for Hetherington. Hetherington's lost the ball. It's gone loose. It's going to be picked up by Fogarty. Raiders decide to run it as it comes back now to Weeks. On the inside, he finds Sasangi. Tries to brush his way through the tackle of Gamble. Really no room to move, though, for Sasangi. And he's caught 11 short of the halfway. 18 all, the Raiders in Newcastle. As the ball comes infield now, it goes to Timmickor. And Timmickor can't get through the defence of the Newcastle Knights. There's 3 players there to meet him. Certainly the attitude has been great from Newcastle defensively as it comes back now to Smithies. And Smithies over the halfway. Bent back now. Forced to get up now, brush himself off and play it back. Left-hand side of the field now to Young. And Hudson Young is tackled. He's 39 metres out from Newcastle's line. He gets up and plays it back. Starling at acting half now for Newcastle. 18 all, the Raiders in Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. Mariotta really winding up, and Mariotta's going to be caught. He's 22 metres out from the Knights line. Centre field. Raiders on the attack. Starling at acting half now. Options left and right. He goes down the left as it goes to Starling. Can't get his man on the outside, but he got the pass away nonetheless to Young. Young running on the angle, and Young is going to be caught. He's about 15 metres out from Newcastle's line, and he gets up and plays it back now. Raiders still on the attack as the ball is played back as it goes to Fogarty in the last tackle. Chips the ball over the top. It's there for the Raiders with Weeks. Gets the arm free, gets the pass away. Wide it goes now to Papali'i, and Papali'i sprints it wide as it goes now to Starling. Starling still with the ball on the last tackle. Still going Starling, he's through. Try to Raiders. Well, did he run behind one of his own players?
Yeah, I'll just check that. I think it was Simi Sasangi. He didn't mean to, but it was just the way that it panned out. Maybe Phoenix Crossland got impeded.
Wyatt Raymond has gone upstairs saying that he doesn't think it's a try. So we'll have a look at this one. Seemingly, the passage opened up there.
At this point,
I thought it might have even been here. Does Xavier Savage has hands on him when he hits the ground because he gets the pass away? Is he entitled to? I think he might be, the way he slips out of this. That'll be the first thing.
Otahan is looking to compete at this point. He then wraps up Xavier Savage in the air. This is a tackle in the air.
But his hands come away from him.
A tackle in the air, though. Alan, you'd think that that's going to be a penalty if it's not a try.
I think just here, Tim, where he gets his hands back on him. Oh, it might be play on.
Just looking to see if the tackle's complete at this point. Just let him go through the process.
If he's in the motion of trying to get his hands free before he's allowed to play on there now, he gets up.
The ball carrying arm does not touch the ground.
Yeah,
so playing on to this point, he breaks the tackle.
Now, there's no doubt that he gets impeded here, but was he really going to ever stop Tom Starling? That's what we've got to look at here.
Just looking to see if there's any obstruction at this point now. We do have a tackle in the air as the original breach.
Okay, so it'll be Raiders ball either way. Phoenix Crossland's not going to make the play there. Even if Simi Sasangi moves out, I can understand though.
We have broken field play here. The Knights defenders choose not to defend Tom Starling playing over this point.
Could be a try. Try to Canberra underneath the post.
The ball is in grounded.
22-18 with a kick to come. Wow. Down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
I think that they got that 100% correct. I think the Knights just laid straight off Tommy Starling. I don't know what Phoenix Crossland was doing. I don't know if he thought someone was going to come across, but he just let him waltz straight through a massive gap. And the Raiders, they started the second half a little bit on the back foot. They're the ones who've come up with first points. One opportunity down there, one try, and they're going to take a 6-point lead with about half hour to go.
This will be 24-18 in a moment. A couple of minutes into the second half. 6 minutes gone so far in the second half. And Beck from Forbes says, bring back City Country. She loves the idea, given that all of those talented players have come from the Central West. Miller, Staines, Fletcher Hunt. And she says, whoever was running Temora Rugby League 10 years ago deserves a gold medal. A lot of players have come from that area and playing and starring in the NRL over the years. As we see Jamal Fogarty, 10 metres out directly in front to make it 24-18. He's kicked it. 24-18. An extraordinary start to the second half here at Canberra Stadium. In the NRLW, the Broncos 30 lead the Dragons 6. Broncos 30, Dragons 6. In the Queensland Cup, it's 12-10. The Dolphins lead the Ipswich Jets. In the AFL, Collingwood 47, leading the Richmond Tigers 27. And in the Super Netball preliminary final, New South Wales Swiss 48 lead the Melbourne Vixens 39. Tim Gable, Alan Tongue and Sam Williams with you on ABC Radio across Australia, with the Raiders leading 24-18 here at Canberra Stadium. There's the restart taken by Savage. Offloads now to Mariotta, and Mariotta's caught just short of the 20. Raiders enter the field. He gets up and plays it back now, 15 metres out from his own line, as Hosking takes it forward now. Hosking over the 20. He's bent back in the tackle too. Hetherington flew through and put him down 21 metres out from the Raiders line as the ball goes wide now, and it goes to Papali'i. And Papali'i standing in the tackle. He's caught though, 25 short of the halfway. A little bit lateral at the moment from the Raiders. Ball comes back now. This is a little bit straighter as it goes to Smithies. And Smithies takes it forward. He's 15 short of the halfway against Starling at acting half. Ball comes back on the last tackle as it goes to Fogarty. Again the high kick downfield, and it bounces just in front of Marju. It picks it up comfortably. Marju sprints into that one. He's going to be caught though and put down on his back 30 metres out from his own line. Again Hosking was the tackler. 19 short of the halfway. Newcastle with the ball at the moment. Just having a look, Crossland is the player who's coming off for Newcastle. That's an interesting change, given he's been responsible for so much ball movement in the first 50 minutes or so. It's 24-18. The Raiders leading Newcastle at Canberra Stadium.
Yeah, well, Saifedi's come back on, and he's got Hetherington there as well for Zell. So they're going to try a power game and really try and go through the Raiders and then bring Phoenix Crossland no doubt back on with, maybe 15 minutes to go there with that ball movement.
Okay, so Newcastle with possession as the ball is about to be played back now. Right-hand side of the field. Another replacement on the field too. Croker is out there. That's Matt Croker. There's a high kick in the air. Going to be taken by Stewart on the left-hand side of the field under pressure. Did well there. He's caught 30 metres out from his own line. So pretty good field position here for Canberra as it goes now to Sasangi. And Sasangi takes the ball forward, carrying players with him. He's caught though 15 short of the halfway. 24 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle. Infield it comes again to Smithies. Takes it forward to about 9 short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back. Infield it comes now. And it goes to Savage. Savage spreads across field. He straightens up. Almost back to the halfway. Good tackle made on him. Wrapped up ball and all. Cogger was the tackler. Left-hand side of the field now to Papali'i. This is straight and hard now from Papali'i. He's 5 metres inside Newcastle's territory. They pick him up, trying to force him across field. Croker was the tackler. Gets up and plays it back now as it goes to Fogarty. Look for the high kick. Here it comes. Spiralling kick. Back there is Gagai. Takes it comfortably. 10 metres out from his own line. He's a good player, isn't he, Gagai? So reliable. Sprints across field. He's going to be caught. Gets the arm through. Gets the pass away to Young. Young still going across field. He goes. Young is through. 30 metres out from his own line. Comes towards Weeks. He's on the halfway. And Weeks will stop him. 5 metres inside the Raiders' territory. And the penalty. High tackle. High tackle made on Dominic Young. Penalty against the Raiders. It was the second player in. I think it was Hudson Young it was. First player in was, of course, K.O. Weeks, but he was away there. Nice move from Gagai from one side of the field to the other, realising that possibly there might have been. He's on report too. So Hudson Young on report. And the Knights have got a penalty, 5 metres inside Raiders territory. It's 24-18. Canberra lead Newcastle down to the sideline. Sam Williams.
Look, I mean, it looks bad, but I don't know if Hudson Young did anything wrong there. I really don't. And I mean, Dom Young, he sort of, the head went backwards, but I don't think that Hudson had his hand on his head and put it in a vulnerable position or anything. I thought it was a pretty soft penalty, to be perfectly honest, but it should never have been in that situation. It was pretty soft from the Raiders. Dom Young, everyone knows what a tremendous athlete he is, and if you show him the outside, he'll take it every day of the week. You just can't afford to give someone like that much room and that much space.
Newcastle with the ball after the tap is taken as it comes back now to Saifiti, and Saifiti's caught. He's 29 metres out. He gets up and plays it back now. 24-18. Raiders over Newcastle. Infield it comes now. Croker looks for Frizzell and finds him. That's a good run again from Tyson Frizzell. Equally nice tackle low by Smithies. 20 metres out from the Raiders line. Newcastle on the attack through Croker as the ball goes wide now. McEwen takes it forward now. McEwen's caught. He's only 10 metres out. Called upon to play it back. Right-hand side of the field it goes to Cogger. Through the hands now to Gamble. Floats the pass over the top to Young. Young sprinting for the line almost there. Bubbling the touch on the line.
It's a shoulder charge though, Tim.
Shoulder charge from Strange. Has put him into touch. Penalty Newcastle on the line. Penalty Newcastle. Wow. He was away there, Dominic Young. 5 metres out, he's been hit with a heavy tackle from Ethan Strange. Penalty goes to Newcastle. And the crowd believing that a couple of penalties in a row have gone against the Raiders. The rub of the green. Dane Gagai is still talking to the referee.
What are you doing? You already kicked.
So Tyson Gamble has kicked the ball out, and Newcastle again on the attack, but again threatening on the right-hand side of the field, and again Dominic Young involved. 9 metres out now from the Raiders line. Newcastle on the attack. Raiders leading 24 points to 18. An undermanned Newcastle certainly taking it very much up to the Raiders. Ball played back now as it goes to Brayley. Wide it goes to Gamble to Saifiti. Saifiti's caught. Papali'i puts him down. 5 metres out. Again, Brayley at acting half. Brayley. Left-hand side it goes to Gamble. Through the hands to Frizzell. Frizzell, ball has gone behind Marju. It's gone into touch. Second tackle. on the Raiders line. Ball has gone into touch. It will be a Raiders ball down to the sideline. Sam, it happened all in front of you.
Yeah, it was good line speed there from the Raiders. They tried to use Tyson Frizzell as a bit of a ball player there. On this occasion, the ball just goes to the ground. The difference between that and the first half, the whole edge went together. They all went to Serge. They went to get him. Really good joining of the edge. When one goes, the next has to follow. And we saw that in the first half. Xavier Savage and Matt Timoko didn't. On this occasion, the Raiders come up trumps.
Yeah, I have to agree on that occasion, but I still think the Newcastle Knights, they need to stick to that game plan there and going to that left-hand side. Just be patient. They're getting a little bit jumpy. Just a couple of sets before was Matt Timoko just jumped down the line. On that occasion, they got it right, but they've got to stay patient. The Knights, they're in this.
Smithies takes it forward now. Raiders leading 24 points to 18. Smithies tackled 12 short of the halfway. Hit of a double tackle. Play on, says the referees. It goes now to Strange. Looks for Young and finds him. Young almost back to the halfway. Stands in the tackle. Called upon to play it back. Raiders have it 2 metres short of the halfway. Right-hand side of the field now it goes to Papali'i. And Papali'i taking players with him. He's ageless this afternoon. Josh Papali'i as he gets up and plays it back 39 metres out. Left-hand side of the field it goes. Raiders have it now through Young. And Young burst through one tackle, still going. Finally caught by Saifidi. Puts him down 25 metres out. Right-hand side it goes to Papali'i. Right hand again to Timoko. And Timoko stands in the tackle, still going. And Timoko is caught. And he's called upon to play it back 12 metres out. Left-hand side of the field now it goes to Starling. To Fogarty. Fogarty looks for Mariota. Really winding himself up and Mariota's caught. He's only 5 metres out. Called upon to play it back. As it goes to the right side, it goes to Smithies, to Fogarty. Fogarty then to Timoko. Through a half gap. He's across the line. Try! Timoko spun out of the tackle and has scored for the Raiders. They now lead by 28 points to 18 with a kick to come.
Yeah, and it was all on the back of momentum, Tim. The big men getting some ruck speed. They get the restart, the 6 again tackles, and then all of a sudden they get into shape. It's probably been one of my criticisms from the Raiders. They've probably played a little bit too one out, especially early in the sets. They need to get a bit more shape around the footy. They've been trying to, probably just take 1 or 2 settlers before you're putting some shape on the ball. On this occasion, straight away, bang, they go into attack mode straight away. Numbers in motion. It looks like they're playing out the back. Fogarty sums it up beautifully and just plays a little double pump short into Timoko's hands, and he has been an absolute handful once again and beats Dan Gago, who was racing across field, who had a lot of work to do, but Timoko scores beside the post. Great work from the Green Machine.
Isn't Josh Papali'i having a game for the ages here this afternoon? Down to the sideline, Sam.
We spoke in the pre-game that space between the centres and the halves for the Newcastle Knights is somewhere that the Raiders would really target. We mentioned that they're younger players. They haven't played a lot of football together. And Matt Timoko is a powerhouse. Give him the ball and let him do what he does. But that space, it takes time to try and get them combinations right defensively as much as with the ball. But really good line, some really good ball playing through Morgan Smithies through the middle, playing direct, playing through in these conditions. That's the way you do it.
All right, here we go. From almost directly in front, 15 metres out to make it 30 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. Tyson Frizzell has been replaced. Leah Thompson about to come back onto the field for the Knights as Fogarty has the ball lined up now. 15 metres out, 10 metres to the left-hand side of the upright. He moves towards the ball, which he only just gets it. 30 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle. Around the ground, full time in the NRLW. The Broncos 30. Defeating the Dragons 6. Broncos 30, Dragons 6. In the Queensland Cup, it's now Ipswich 16 leading the Dolphins 12. In the New South Wales Women's Rugby League, into the second half, the Eels 16 leading Newcastle 10. In the AFL, Collingwood 48 lead Richmond 28. In the match currently underway in the second game in the first quarter, the Melbourne Demons 12 leading St Kilda 6. In the Super Netball preliminary final, it's now the Swifts 54 leading the Vixens 45. The Vixens, of course, from Melbourne. Tim Gable, Alan Tongue and Sam Williams with you this afternoon. The Raiders with possession, 15 metres out from their own line. They lead 30 points to 18 over Newcastle.
Yeah, just want to give Tyson Frizzell a wrap. Coming off the bench, he's played 33 minutes, 11 runs, 129 run metres as well, 28 20-odd tackles, so he's done a mountain of work coming off the bench.
And Papali'i takes the ball forward, carrying players with him again. 30 metres out from their own line. Raiders have it now through Young, and Young just starting to come to his own a little bit here. He's tackled 11 metres short of the halfway, and now from dummy half it's Starling. Starling up to the halfway, can't get his arm free for the pass away, and he's caught 2 metres short of the halfway. Right-hand side, it goes to Jamal Fogarty, high in the air. That's a big kick, and back there is Gagai, lost the ball. It goes to Young in an offside position. Penalty goes to the Raiders. Massive kick there from Jamal Fogarty, lost by Gagai, picked up in front of him by Dominic Young. The penalty goes to the Raiders, 11 metres out. 11 metres out from Newcastle's line. Raiders 30, leading Newcastle 18.
And would be interesting here whether they take the 2. I think they might just to settle it down, but whether they take the tap and keep on the attack, no, they've gone for the 2 points here. Jamal Fogarty, what a kick. I tell you what, they're going to miss that, and I tell you what, you Manly fans, you've got a cracking game manager with the way that he kicks the football in Jamal Fogarty coming your way. He's been really smart with his kicking game. He had a bit of trouble in that first half with a little bit of the wind and the way it was swirling, but I tell you what, he's known when to go high, when to do a punt kick, when to do a spiral, or when to try for the 40-20. He's been great this afternoon, Jamal Fogarty.
And he's going to have a shot at goal, Sam.
They are. The message came straight away from the bench. Ricky Stewart, he put the 2 fingers up, and they want to go out to this 14-point lead. It's going to be really difficult to come back from for the Knights, and you're right with Jamal Fogarty. That boot, the moment it left the foot, it was going to take a wonderful catch to get near. Dane Gagai was disappointed. Don't be Dane. I don't think many people would have even got a hand to it. It was that hard to touch. So I don't think we've seen the last of those types of bombs this afternoon.
Here we go. Jamal Fogarty, about 10 metres to the left-hand side of the upright. He's taken it back 15 metres out, and the ball rolls off the tee. An anti-climax, to say the least.
He only just got that last one too, didn't he, Tim? It was quite close. I know it was in that little bit of a tricky position, but he only just snuck it through. That just shows the breeze a couple of times this afternoon. The ball just floating off the kicking tee.
So here we go again. It rolls off the tee. 30 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle, of course, coming up immediately after this game. The Bulldogs and Manly, that should be a great game too.
Look at this, it's like the under-6s. Josh Papali'i's going up there to put his finger on the footy to hold it still, you know, when it's in the rain, and didn't pull it away at last minute. No, he's got it off there now.
So Jamal Fogarty in the bid to make it 32 points to 18. Kicks it towards the uprights. He has kicked it. 32-18. Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. Sam, can Newcastle come back into this game?
Well, they've shown that when they use the football, they can score points. But I think the issue for the Knights at the moment is getting football in the right half of the field, because the Raiders are doing a really good job coming out of their end. They're kicking the ball long, and then they're controlling it through their defence. So, yes, they can score 14 points, but they've got to get the footy down the right end of the field to be able to do it.
Thank you for those comments, Neil, Mitch, Scott, Gaz, Rob from Ipswich, all offering comments. The game moving pretty quickly at the moment. 32 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle midway through the second half. And so the Raiders have got possession 22 metres out from their own line. Ball comes back on the inside to Smithies. Stands in the tackle, and Smithies is caught 30 metres out from his own line. Gets up and plays it back now as it comes infield, and it goes again to Papali'i, and Josh Papali'i is tackled 9 short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back. Starling now runs from dummy half, links up with Young, through the hands it goes to Strange, and Strange is caught. He's over the halfway. He's 5 metres inside Newcastle territory. Gets up and plays it back as the ball comes infield. Again it goes to Jamal Fogarty. He's been here before. High kick in the air, spiral kick. Takes it well, Dane Gagai, as he usually does. And Gagai is tackled 20 metres out from his own line. He's thumped to the turf though and put down. Papali'i was the player who chased it through as it goes wide. Newcastle with a little bit of scoreboard pressure here, with the Raiders leading 32 points to 18. Spin it to the left-hand side of the field. 25 short of the halfway. Marju plays it back. Again, it comes infield. McEwen is the player that's caught here by Papali'i. He's got through a mountain of work so far this afternoon, Josh Papali'i. 19 short of the halfway. Again, it comes infield to Croker. Through the hands to Gamble. Links up with Gagai on the outside. This is nice football. McCarthy over the halfway. McCarthy's brought down in a tackle. Far side of the field. Young was the tackler. 5 metres metres inside the Raiders territory. Newcastle through Croker, stands in the tackle. He can't get his arm free. Yes, he can. He flicked it back straight into the arms of Brayley. Wide it goes to Gamble, then it goes to Gagai. Gagai through a half gap there and couldn't get his arm free for the pass away on the right-hand side of the field. Is tackled 30 metres out now from the Raiders line. Left-hand side of the field now it goes to Gamble. Gamble kicks it high in the air. Back there is Weeks, takes it comfortably. A couple metres out from his own line. Just winding up there. 11 metres out, he's tackled. And he gets up and plays it back now. Infield it comes to Stewart. And Jed Stewart is tackled. 15 out from his own line. 32 points to 18. The Raiders leading Newcastle. The change about to be made by the Knights by the looks of it. As Jackson Hastings is warming up on the sideline. Ball is going to be called back here.
Yeah, it's a shepherd actually, Tim. It was totally accidental the way that he bumped out of it, but it did stop a Newcastle Knights player from being able to make the play on Xavier Savage. So they get an opportunity here, the Newcastle Knights. You talked about a couple of those changes. One big one, Josh Papali'i from the field, Joe Tarpany back into action. Still no Owen Paddy yet, or also Noah Martin.
Yes, Noah Martin, Noah and Paddy haven't been used so far in this game. Hastings warming up on the sideline. Martin gets off his seat as well as the ball comes back right-hand side of the field. Newcastle on the attack. That's a nice piece of work there from McCarthy, who's tackled. And he's only 5 metres out, almost through. He gets up and plays it back. Strange again was the tackler. As it comes infield now, it goes to Gamble from one side of the field to the other to Thompson to Saifidi. And Saifidi's caught in a tackle. 9 metres out. He's called upon to play it back. Left-hand side of the field it goes now. Through the hands again to Gamble. Gamble going himself on the inside. Ball is loose. Going to be picked up by Newcastle. Marju has it. Lost forward by Newcastle. Wow. The Raiders held back on that one. I thought that they must have felt that it was touched by a Raiders' hand, but it will be the Raiders to get possession 10 metres out from their own line. Score remains at 32 points to 18. Sam on the sideline.
Yeah, Ricky Stewart, he's gone to a couple of his big boppers in Joe Tarpany and Corey Horsburgh back out there also. I think with the Knights, I think the halves, we just saw a little bit of an incision there from Tyson Gamble, but I think the halves and also Brayley, they've got to look to run now. I think we're now 3/4 of the way into this game. There's some tired bodies out there. It has been fast-paced. They need to start running and asking some questions in greasy surface. Use your footwork and get your nose through to create some momentum.
Noah Martin about to come onto the field here for Canberra. The Raiders have got possession through Sasangi, who plays it back 15 metres out from his own line. It comes now to Stewart, and Stewart is caught right on the 20. Raiders into the field, 32 points to 18. Now Horsburgh takes it forward, and Horsburgh v Hetherington. Wouldn't that be nice? Ball about to be played back 21 metres short of the halfway. As the ball is played back now, Raiders have it through Tarpany, and Tarpany takes it to about 9 metres short of the halfway. Gets up and plays it back with a quick play the ball to Starling. Starling goes himself a couple of metres. Starling is caught a metre inside Newcastle territory. Called upon to play it back as it comes infield now. It goes to Jamal Fogarty. Again a wobbly old kick downfield. This is a tough one. It'll be picked up on the fly though by Gagai. Gagai had to race across field. No way that Dominic Young was going to take that one, he said. Young has the ball now. He sprints across field. Bounces out of the tackle of Jamal Fogarty. He comes towards Savage, gets through that tackle, but he's gone across field a couple of times here. From one side of the field, then back again. And Newcastle have the ball eventually. Called upon to play it back. Far side of the field is Pierce Paul. 19 short of the halfway. 32 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle. And Hastings is on the field now for Newcastle as it comes infield and goes to Croker, and Croker takes it forward. Croker's caught. He's 15 short of the halfway. Called upon to play it back with the Raiders 32, Newcastle 18. It goes wide now to Saifidi, and Saifidi's going to be caught in a tackle there by Martin and put down just short of the halfway, right-hand side of the field. It goes to Gamble, back on the inside. Ball taken forward by Thompson in a good run. Gets his arm through, gets the pass away to Hastings, and Hastings is caught, stands in the tackle, finally flung to the turf. 31 metres out, gets up and plays it back now. Thompson at acting half. Wide it goes to Gamble. High kick in the air on the last tackle. Back there is Weeks, takes it comfortably. Tackled immediately though by Cogger coming through. The Raiders have it 10 metres out from their own line as it goes now to Stewart. Ducks under a high shot, and Stewart's going to be caught. Launched to the turf there by McEwen as it comes infield now to Timokor. And Timokor races across field. He gets out of that tackle. Still going Matt Timokor. And Timokor eventually stopped about 21 short of the halfway. Fair bit of work to make 10 metres, but he made it 32 points to 18 as it comes back now to Tarpany, and Tarpany is tackled. He's 15 short of the halfway. Raiders have it now through Starling. Starling goes himself. He's up to the halfway. Last tackle coming up here for the Raiders. Look for the spiral kick again from Jamal Fogarty. Decides to run it. Kicks the ball through. Grubber style kick, and back there is Marju. Picks it up beautifully and runs towards the defensive line now. He's going to be caught. Savage was up on top of him. 30 metres out from their own line. Newcastle with possession. You're right, Alan. They're going to have to run it. And Dane Gagai just drifting across field there, set upon by Young, who catches him. They're still 30 metres out from their own line.
Yeah, well, that changed from Rayleigh coming off and Hastings to 9. They've come with that real, let's attack now. Let's run the footy, get some offloads, shift the footy, and also Phoenix Crossland back into the side. They want to move this ball here, and it's troubling the Raiders. They've just got to convert it into points.
Oh, and Paddy about to come on too for the Raiders. Ball goes right-hand side of the field now to Gamble. Flicks it right-hand side again. It goes to Gamble. Then it goes back on the inside to Gagai. And Gagai is tackled. He's 41 metres out. Again, it goes to Gamble with the high kick in the air. Wobbly old kick. Nobody really wants to catch that one, so they let it bounce, and it's picked up by Weeks, who's through a half gap. He's away. Weeks up to the 20, own into the field, gets through 2 tackles, and finally caught from behind. Piers Paul was the tackler. Now it goes to Savage. Savage straightens up now, and the Raiders have it 15 short of the halfway. On Paddy's on the field, and so the Raiders have it now. Left-hand side, it goes to Stewart, and Stewart charges onto that one. He's going to be caught. 9 short of the halfway. 32 points to 18. Raiders on the attack now through Horsburgh. Shapes to pass, takes the tackle himself, and he's up to the halfway almost. So the Raiders have it. Options left and right. Paddy at dummy half now as it goes to Tarpany. And Tarpany, gee, good run from Tarpany. Gets the pass away as it goes to Weeks, to Hosking. On the inside, he finds Young. Young bursting onto that one, still going. Passes over the outside, goes to Stewart, cuts back on the inside. Stewart still going. Try the corner, just short. Stewart, that looked good. Ball is about to be played back half a metre out. Raiders have it now through Fogarty on the last tackle. Kicks the ball through, races on in the in goal. Dived on by the Raiders. It hit the upright.
Noah Martin, I think it is.
It hit the upright, and Noah Martin has scored for Canberra. It hit the upright. The kick across field. Almost scored in the left corner. The kick across field. Hit the upright. Bounced into the in goal. Dived on by Noah Martin. And the Raiders have scored a try underneath the post. 36-18.
Well, was it a game of pinball? I'm not sure what was going on. It was going left, right and centre. But what about the little play? The pass from Hosking to Hudson Young, who was screaming onto the football. Then he throws the old Harbour Bridge Parks like a halfback does out the back there to Jed Stewart, who's millimetres from the try line. They pass it back to Jamal Fogarty. His kicking game's been absolutely brilliant all game. It looked like he was going to trickle it in behind. He does the little chip across field. The crossbars there. There's people, there's, you know, the Knights jerseys all around it, but there's also a few green ones. Bobbles up and goes into Noah Martin's hand and scores there right next to the post.
Hit the padding to it, Alan, and it sort of changed trajectory momentarily. And so the penalty, the try has been scored underneath the post for Canberra. Noah Martin from the south coast of New South Wales.
First NRL try.
Has scored. 36-18 with the kick to come directly in front now from Jamal Fogarty. Full time in the NRLW. Broncos 30 defeated the Dragons 6 as Fogarty kicks that one through the post. 38 points to 18 in the AFL. Richmond and Collingwood. Collingwood 48 leading Richmond 34. Melbourne Demons 31 leading St Kilda 7. Full time in the Super Netball preliminary final. 66-65. Melbourne defeating the New South Wales Swifts. As we go down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
The last few times the Raiders have been in this position, they've found a way, certainly in the last game, but to be able to score points and score points fast when they get to this part of the game. They get the crowd behind them, they get a bit excited, and they can really put some points on. So there is still a bit of a gap with the Melbourne Storm. I know the Raiders, they'll be looking to close this game out, but every point really matters. And the efforts like Corey Hawes, where they're chasing through the middle, competing on a kick across field, which created the try, that's the types of efforts that the Raiders have been banking on all season, and they're doing a brilliant job of it.
Raiders get a penalty, high tackle. Great Great take from Chet Stewart from the restart too. It was a short kick-off. He took it well. He's played really well this afternoon, Jet. Almost scored a try a moment ago. Floating pass over the top to him in the corner. And now the penalty's been given against the high tackle made on Simi Sasangi, and the Raiders have got a penalty as the ball is kicked downfield, 5 short of the halfway. The Raiders to get possession. They lead 38 points to 18 over Newcastle. 10.5 minutes remaining before full time as it goes wide now to Tarpany. And Tarpany,
he's been good too.
His combination with Josh Papali has been outstanding today. And he's tackled just short of the halfway, gets the ball back as it goes now to Horsburgh. And Horsburgh charges onto that one. He's going to be caught. He's 41 metres up, and Corey Horsburgh will play it back 39 metres up to Paddy. Then it goes to Fogarty through the hands. It goes to Weeks, and Weeks brushes through 1, through 2, still going. Finally, KO Weeks is caught, and he's tackled 21 metres up, 10 metres in from touch. Called upon to play it back to Paddy. Left-hand side of the field now, it goes to Fogarty. Looks for Horsburgh, finds him, can't find a gap through there, and he's going to be put down. Been back in the tackle. Thompson was the tackler. They're 11 metres out here, the Raiders from Newcastle's line, as Paddy runs from dummy half. Then it goes to Fogarty through the hands to Young, and Young tries to palm his way through the tackle of Pierce Paul, who puts him down 9 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. Still the Raiders on the attack though. Ball played back now to Paddy as it comes infield. Look for the kick. Here it comes from Fogarty. Grubber style kick. Lovely pick up in the end goal though by Hunt. Hunt can't make that out in the field of play though. It's a Grubber style kick. He picks it up beautifully but caught in the end goal. And so the score remains at 38 points to 18. 38 points to 18. 9.5 minutes remaining here at Canberra Stadium. But a line drop out here for Newcastle with Hunt caught in the end goal.
Yeah, and we speak about the kicking game from Jamal Fogarty. How good is it? On this occasion, he sums it up perfectly again. Trickles it in goal. Here's a short one though, Tim. From what is it?
Dane Gagai. He's kicked it out on the full. He's kicked it out on the full. 38 points to 18. Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium. 9 minutes remaining before full time. Sam on the sideline.
That never looked like getting that ball back there. It was always going out on the full. But as I said, real opportunity for the Raiders to put more points on. And Owen Paddy out of the hooker. Still 8 minutes to go. He's fresh. The Knights are falling off tackles. He'll be looking to cross the stripe as well.
Ball about to be played back to Paddy now. 9 metres up from Newcastle's line as it goes to Horsburgh. And Horsburgh charges onto that one. Horsburgh's going to be caught. He's only 5 metres out in front of the post. Again, Paddy at dummy half in front of the post. Left-hand side of the field it goes to Fogarty. Looks for Young, finds him. Young almost through. But Hudson Young is caught. Gets up and plays it back. He's a couple of metres out. Gets up and plays it back very slowly. 3 metres out now. Plays it back. Raiders settle as it goes to Fogarty. Goes to Weeks. Weeks looks for Timacor. And Timacor tries to palm his way through. He's going to be tackled though. 5 metres out. Cogger was the tackler. 5 metres in from touch. Infield it comes now. Raiders on the attack. Ball trapped in his foot there by Joe Tarpany. And Tarpany picks it up now after stopping it with his boot. Realised that he couldn't get to it in time. And Tarpany's caught now. And they're about 19 metres out from Newcastle's line. Raiders on the attack as it goes to Fogarty through the hands. The tip pass there as it goes eventually from Weeks. And Timacor scores his second try. Timacor's over. 42 points to 18. The tip pass.
He's got no try.
To Matt Timacor from Weeks. So here we go.
The defender's got to make a decision, yeah?
That's what they'll review. Okay, so he runs on the outside.
So the ball is caught beyond the lead runner.
I think Noel Martin just gets involved, but he tips the ball on quite quickly there.
But
he's run on the outside shoulder there of Cogger.
Seen with the Noel Martin in
Noel
French to play.
Martin is looking at running at space. Jack Cogger plays the man, and the ball plays out wider than him. This does not create a 2-on-1.
So Timacor, second try for him.
I tell you, I've seen plenty of those go to the defending team.
Decision.
42-18 it will be. Raiders over Newcastle here at Canberra Stadium with a kick to come.
Yeah, really great play there from the Raiders. As I said, I've probably seen a few of those go the other way. I think it's the right decision. The ball goes out the back. It wouldn't have mattered even if he wasn't there. He wouldn't have got to that play, but the ball's been tipped on, and it was Kaya Weeks, the man. He wanted that football down that right-hand side. He got in the ear of Jamal Fogarty. They got the quick hands to that space there. Noah Martin there too, running a good line, a drift line, gets it out the back, and Tim McCaw, he's been a handful, hasn't he, Tim, this afternoon? He's been in everything.
Dane Gagai just having a long chat there to Wyatt Raymond.
I've explained it.
Yeah, and what he was explaining there was obviously Dane Gagai believing the player had been impeded trying to get across, but the pass went beyond him, and so no chance of getting involved in the defensive pattern there, the Newcastle player. So the try has been awarded. Matt Timokor scores his second down to the sideline. Sam Williams.
Yeah, look, I probably feel a little bit for the Knights there. I mean, I can understand because he drifts into the next space on his run, which changes the halfback's thinking. The halfback does still, Cogger still creates it, and I think if he doesn't actually look for the penalty, I think he would have naturally have got it. It's just the fact that he looks to try and get a penalty, it makes the decision a bit easier. But good skill, run the ball in the last, create a lot more again, and Jamal Fogarty throws another one over between the two sticks. But for the Knights on the edge there, I mean, even Greg Marzio, he's 10 metres behind the play. I know he's thinking kick, but you've got to give your centre a bit of help and get up on the end of the line. Just far too easy for the Raiders.
Yeah, good for the Raiders, for and against, 44 points to 18 now. Newcastle with their backs to the wall. Raiders 44, Newcastle 18. 6 minutes remaining before full time. In the AFL, can tell you that Collingwood 55 lead Richmond 40, and the Melbourne Demons 38 leading St Kilda 13. If you'd like to have your say, 0467 920 222, 0467 920 222. Tim Gable, Alan Tongue and Sam Williams with you today on ABC Radio across Australia. Noah Martin takes the short kick off well for the Raiders, 15 short of the halfway as it comes back now to Horsburgh, and Corey Horsburgh slides into the defensive line. He's going to be caught though, 10 short of the halfway. Ball has come loose. Thompson was the tackler. It's come loose. Okay, so knock on here, 10 metres inside Raiders territory, and it will be. Let's have a look whether it was an attempted strip there from...
Yeah, certainly
it was. So the ball has come forward from Thompson, and the Raiders should get the scrum feed. They do. And so it will be Strange. Just moving up there. It will be Canberra to get the scrum feed, 10 short of the halfway. It's 44-18. Rain tumbles down here at Canberra Stadium. 44-18 with 5.5 minutes remaining. You'd have to think Newcastle is struggling for interest at the moment. 44-18, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. But they've been, I know the scoreline, it's blowing out at the moment, but when you think about it, 18 all at half-time, it was anybody's game. They started the better in the second half. It's just been the Raiders just, when they've got a half opportunity, they've made it pay.
The Raiders have scored 4 tries to 0 in the second half. Yes, that's right. 18 all at half-time. It's now 44-18. Raiders over Newcastle. 5 minutes remaining as the ball comes back on the inside to Tarpany. Tarpany takes it forward, standing in the tackle. And he's caught 35 metres out. He gets up and plays it back now. Oh, and Paddy at acting half. Paddy options left and right. He goes to the left as it goes to Fogarty. Short pass there to Young, and Young's going to be caught and put down. He's 29 metres out. Still the Raiders on the attack though. As Paddy again goes down the left-hand side. He goes himself, darts a couple of metres again. He's going to be caught. Last tackle here for the Raiders as it goes to Fogarty. Looks for the kick. Across field it comes. A chance here for Timokor. Takes the ball comfortably. Timokor gets his arm free, and Timokor finally the ball comes back now, and it goes to Horsburgh, tips the ball through, dives on the loose ball in the end goal, appeals for the try. Horsburgh with a chip through, may have scored a try for the Raiders. White Raymond is going upstairs, has no try. Horsburgh believes he scored. 44-18, Raiders lead Newcastle with 4.5 minutes remaining.
The kick score on tackle 5, it's then touched by the Newcastle Knights and gets backwards.
He does this often, doesn't he, the big red? He's got it. Oh, there's touch and go. We'll have to have another look at this one. Does he get his hands to it first? I think no. I think the Newcastle Knights player
gets his hands to the ball but fails to ground it and knocks it forward in the end goal. We have a decision.
Wow. That one was touch and go. Great work by Gagai. He's been one of the best for Newcastle Knights. Desperation there, you think. Well, they haven't got too much to play for, but put his body on the line there, Gagai.
44-18, Raiders lead Newcastle. No try to Corey Horsburgh. Newcastle get a 7-tackle set, 20 metres out from the right line. They take the ball forward, and Dominic Young is carried about another 10 metres backwards, so they'll play it back 12 out from their own line. It goes now left-hand side of the field. Newcastle with possession through Piers Paul. He gets up and plays it back. Across field it comes to Frizzell, who's back on for Newcastle. He was outstanding during his stint in the middle of the game. Just short of the 30-metre line. Newcastle end of the field. Right-hand side now. It goes to Gamble. Gamble looks for runners, finds Piers Paul, gets his arm free to Hastings, and Hastings is up to the halfway. Newcastle with possession. Canberra leading 44 points to 18. 3.5 minutes remaining here at Canberra Stadium as the ball goes wide to Gamble, through the hands to Cogger. Then it goes to Gagai. Gagai to Hunt, and Hunt's going to be caught. Hosking was the player that held on for dear life and wrapped him up, ball and all. Couldn't get the pass away to Marju. 39 metres out now from the Raiders line. Newcastle on the attack through Cogger to Crossland. Short pass there to Frizzell, and Frizzell's caught 35 metres out. He gets up and plays it back on the last tackle. Right-hand side of the field now. It goes to Gamble, high in the air. Back there for the Raiders is...
It's Savage.
Savage flew through the air, and they were both back there, Savage and Weeks, and in the end it was Savage. That's why I momentarily paused there, because it did look very much like Kaya Weeks there at fullback, getting through the air. And so the Raiders have got possession, and they have it 21 short of the halfway. Ball about to be played back now. Right-hand side of the field it goes to Hosking, and Hosking is tackled.
Does it feel like there's something else brewing? We've only got 2 minutes 30 to go, but is there another try for the Raiders, or can the Newcastle Knights just get 4 or 6 points back before the end of the game?
Just can't see KO Weeks out there at the moment.
No, Timmy's come off the field. His Xavier Savage has gone to fullback. Weeks is having a well-earned rest.
Okay, ball comes back now, and it goes to Young, and Young is caught 45 metres out. He'll play it back now, 45 metres out from Newcastle's line. As again it goes to Jamal Fogarty. High kick in the air. This will be hard to take. Marju does very well. He takes it well. 20 metres out from his own line. 44-18. The score remains. Raiders over Newcastle. Less than 2 minutes remaining here at Canberra Stadium as the ball comes infield. And it goes to Hunt. And so the Raiders remain on top of the ladder through 21 rounds. Quite incredible when some people actually pick them to come last, Alan. But 10 metres short of the halfway. Raiders.
As they get, here goes the Viking clap.
Starting a bit early. Newcastle with possession on the halfway. 44-18. A minute 34 remaining with Newcastle on the attack through Gagai, who hasn't stopped trying all afternoon. Dane Gagai. He's caught though, and he's put down eventually. 35 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. Infield it goes to Campbell. Chip and chase over the top, taken by Martin, would you believe? So Martin, with second rower, takes the ball forward. 30 metres out from his own line. Marju limping in back play. That doesn't look good.
Looks like a left ankle, or is it maybe cramping? We'll just keep an eye on that too.
Minute remaining. Simi Sasagi has the ball now for Canberra. He's scored 15 short of the halfway. He's done well in the setters today as the ball is played back now. The Raiders have it through Smithies, and Morgan Smithies is caught 11 short of the halfway. 48 seconds remaining. You'll play it back now to Patty. As it goes now to Jamal Fogarty.
40-20.
Looks for the 40-20. Downfield it goes.
Don't worry about the 40-20.
Coming through is Savage. Dodge on the ball. Try Raiders. Everybody was waiting for it to go into touch. Savage has flown through and dived on the loose ball in the end goal. Long kick downfield.
It's whether he's knocked this footy on, that's all it's in.
Let's hear what he's got to say. Wyatt Raven is the referee. And this could be a try with 30 seconds remaining.
Xavier Savage is in front of the kick at this point.
Oh, he's offside. Okay.
So Xavier Savage in front of the kicker. I must admit, he did get there very quickly, Alan.
Yes, but he was only
Xavier Savage then takes possession of the ball from an offside position. Very decision.
No try.
Flags up. He's only half a metre there, Tim, but still, he's a mover.
30 seconds remaining at Canberra Stadium. Raiders 44, Newcastle 18. Well, interesting.
They've got to take it.
Finish it. They've got to take it from where it was knocked on, because it was knocked on in the field of play. So they have to take it back. They can't take it to 20 metres out from their own line. Down to the sideline, Sam Williams.
Look, it was a sight for the crowd to get up off their feet to Xavier Savage getting down that wing. He's so fast, but yeah, he's a fraction in front of the kicker. So we go all the way back. 30 seconds left on the clock. The Raiders are going to go home very happy once again. Look, it doesn't look like any major injuries. Another really comprehensive win. And this Raiders juggernaut just continues. They're finding ways to win in different ways, in different conditions. Ricky Stewart will be really proud of today's performance.
7 tries to 3 today for Newcastle, for the Raiders over Newcastle. So 4 unanswered tries in the second half, given it was 18 all at half time. It's now 44 points to 18. 8 seconds remaining. Newcastle with possession as it comes back to Gagai. Then it goes to Young, who loses the ball. That's Dominic Young for Newcastle. Raiders have it as it comes back to Weeks, should I say Savage at fullback. And Savage is tackled. So Canberra, 9 wins in a row now. 7 tries to 3 against Newcastle. Newcastle very plucky in the first half. 18 all at half time. Newcastle, though, didn't score a point in the second half. Raiders scored 4 unanswered tries. 44 points to 18. Canberra over Newcastle. 9th win in a row for the Green Machine. We'll go down to Sam in just a moment. Alan, your thoughts on that game?
Oh, wow. I mean, a pretty crazy little first half there. It was 50-50 with the possession, and it ended up at 18 points apiece with that try to Newcastle just before half-time as Fletcher Hunt. Actually, we'll go down to Sam straight away.
Down here with Raiders hooker Tommy Starling. Starlo, 18 all at half-time. You come out here, you scored points for fun. Was there anything that changed at half-time?
No, not really, mate. We're pretty positive, to be fair. I think we a couple of little silly mistakes where Morgs didn't play the ball with his foot. Obviously, that last try on half-time, we probably got ahead of ourselves, wanted to try late. But, yeah, so we sort of gifted them and gave them, let their tails get up a little bit. Thought our energy and intent and everything we were doing was really good. So it was pretty positive at half-time. We just knew we had to obviously play the long game, mate, and we know what we can do with the ball. So, yeah, obviously got the win behind ourselves there in the back half.
St George next week, another really good opportunity to keep this, as we're calling it, a juggernaut going. How do you just reframe and make sure that you don't get ahead of yourself?
Oh, mate, it's week to week for us. We're chasing our best performances. We're chasing our best, the best Canberra Raiders footy side we can be. So, there's a lot of stuff we still need to fix up, like them little fundamental mistakes that just let teams back in the game. We did that very less, not as much this week compared to a couple of weeks ago last week. So, mate, we're chasing perfection, and we know that's an unrealistic goal, but we don't chase it.
And for yourself, look, you're one of the smaller bodies, let's put it that way, but you're getting through a lot of work. You're playing some really big minutes. We're getting to the back end of the season. How is that body holding up?
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's always good when you're winning. When you lose, your body's probably a little bit sore, but mate, as I said, mate, winning games of footy, you want to bounce into the week and keep it going. And body's fine, mate. We'll keep going into this back into the season.
You're doing a wonderful job. The side's going really well. Good luck next week against the Dragons.
Thanks, Sammy. Appreciate it, mate. Thanks.
Sam Williams down there with Tom Starling. Sam, probably got time for one more before we go to Andrew Moore and the team.
I'm down here with Hudson Young. Hudson, what were you saying, mate? Where should you have gone?
I should have went for the corner on both times. Just looking for support too early.
Another really good win at home. 11,000 in here on a really cold, wet, miserable Canberra day. You get the support, the Viking Club gets going. It must be a great feeling at the moment.
Yeah, it's awesome, mate. They always say how contagious winning is, and I truly believe that. And the whole club at the moment's in a really good spot, right through the juniors, and we're just trying to come in every week and just be consistent, and our fans just keep showing up no matter if it's cold, hot, windy or rainy. So, yeah, we love them and really thankful.
And the depth in this squad, we look at Simi Sasungi, he goes to the centres, he plays brilliantly. You've got young kids coming on, scoring tries. The club's in a position that if someone does go down, you've got people putting their hand up.
Yeah, and that started way back in November. The amount of effort the younger boys were putting in, and Stick just kept speaking about instilling belief into the young fellas, because at the time they probably don't realise how close they are to playing consistent NRL. So, yeah, you've seen them come on now, but it's on the back of a lot of hard work.
Hudson Young, thanks for joining ABC Sport.
Thanks, Sam Williams.
There you go. Sammy down on the sideline with Hudson Young. Thank you for that, Sam. Alan, you're 3-2-1.
Yeah, oh, wow. It's Yeah, a little bit difficult there. There were some great performances there for the Raiders, but also the Knights. I'll give a couple of special mentions. Newcastle Knights there to start us off. Not in my 3-2-1, but I thought Dane Gagai was outstanding. I thought he was really, really good. Tyson Frizzell in his stint that he came off the bench was really good. But I gave 1 point. I'll start with my 1 point. I gave it to Jamal Fogarty. His kicking game, he just had it on an absolute thread, and it just really caused havoc there and put the Newcastle Knights on the back foot. I gave 2 points to Josh Papali'i. 136 run metres, but it just seemed that his presence in moments of the game was just so important, and especially early on in that game. So he got my 2 points. And I gave 3 points to Matty Timokul. I think today he was tested. Yeah, he came up with maybe one sort of defensive error there, but out of that, I think defensively he was super strong, scored a couple of great tries and charged onto the foot. He caused havoc every time he touched the ball. I thought he was really, really good today, so he got my 3 points. So 3 to Matt Timokul, 2 to Josh Papali'i, and 1 to Jamal Fogarty. Some special mentions though, as I did, and I must admit too, Joe Tarpany was at his absolute best. Simi was brilliant as well in there, so was really good. Dominic Young for the Newcastle Knights was outstanding, but the 3 best players there, that's what I thought.
Timokul, Josh Papali'i, obviously outstanding for the Raiders here today. So full time, 44 points to 18. Canberra over Newcastle, and the Raiders scoring 7 tries to 3, 18 all at half time, 4 unanswered tries in the second half. As we go now to Andrew Moore and the team, big game coming up. Bulldogs up against Manly.
Yes, thank you very much, Tim Gable, Alan Tung, and also Sam Williams there at Canberra Stadium. Great celebration here at the moment at the Sydney Football Stadium for the 1995 Canterbury Bankstown Premiership winners, where they beat Manly 17 points to 4, and they've been presented to the crowd. They're doing a lap of honour. Rod Silver is here. Rocket Rod, the fullback from that team. Jason Williams, the Kiwi, played on the wing, and the other Kiwi on the wing, Daryl Halligan's here. Johnny Timu, speaking of Kiwis, is here. So too is Craig Polamander, who was a significant player in that premiership drive at halfback. Stephen Price, who scored a try. Very young in his career, Stephen Price. At that time, Mitch Newton, front rower, former police officer. Simon Gillies, their second rower. Their captain, their inspiration, Terry Barbar Lamb. He's part of this lap of honour. He got the biggest cheer probably of the lot. Maybe a tie with the coach, Chris Opes Anderson, who also won a premiership with the Bulldogs as a player, a winger against the Roosters in 1980. Great to see Chris Anderson here, as well as they can still do their lap. They head down to the southern end. There'll be about 25,000 people here for the Bulldogs Manly game, which in itself is a very important clash. The Bulldogs sit third, the Seagulls sit ninth. No team changes for Canterbury, with Joseph Rinakama, the 18th man, and for Manly Ringer, Jake Simpkin off the bench, replaced by Gordon Chan Kum Tong and Tommy Talau, the 18th. Referee Ash Klein, Chris Butler in the bunker. There's still a fine late afternoon here in Sydney. There is some cloud cover, but nothing terribly threatening at the moment. Luke Lewis, good afternoon to you. What a great atmosphere already, mainly because of what's happening here in front of us with that 1995 Bulldogs premiership winning team being honoured.
Yeah, good afternoon, boys. It's absolutely awesome. You see the crowd is absolutely steaming in. You got all the 95 cheerleaders and the new cheerleaders out in the middle of the field. You got the team doing a lap of honour with their jerseys on, with their numbers on their back. It's just a great feeling. They had the team introduction was absolutely amazing, and this is what it's all about. It's what rugby league's all about. When you win a grand final and get remembered this way, it's going to be an awesome afternoon. I can't wait for it.
Jason Smith down there as well. Such a creative, talented player and part of that premiership winning team. And Louis, next year it's 10 years since Cronulla Sutherland's first ever premiership win.
I reckon we're going to have to get into the Sharkies. They can pull off something like this. This is quite amazing.
And that, you mentioned that touch that Gibbsy alerted us to earlier. The 1995 cheer squad is here. And they're doing a routine right now with the 2025 cheer squad. It's just really well done by Canterbury Bankstown, and John Gibbs is down there shaking hands all over the place. Gibbsy, what a great vibe down here.
Hi, Simon. I'm having a chat to some of these boys. It's a great feeling. Well done, boys. And the crowd loves it. You can hear it. Andrew, as you said, about 25,000. They might push a little bit more. And it is noisy. So this is going to be a great atmosphere for these players. It's a little bit like finals football come early, and have a listen to them as they finish their march around the ground. It's fantastic, Andrew. The temperature perfect, about 15 degrees. You can see the surface is a little bit sparse. It's got a fair bit of water and a little bit muddy underfoot, but this is set up to be a beauty.
And you'd think too, Gidsy, this has got to have an effect on the current Canterbury players. They're walking through this tunnel of such great alumni.
Absolutely, and they all look well. Some of them, have been in a good paddock, but they're all in good spirits. And the players, if they don't rise to this, they never will. But Manly will be equal to the task, I'm sure. They know it's a big occasion, and this is an opportunity for Manly to stand up. They've got this good little run going, 3 in a row. They've had a couple of buys and that, so they've had 10 points over the last 6 weeks or so. So this is an important game for them to show that they're worthy of being in the 8.
They're still in the tunnel, Jonty, as we speak. The coaching staff of Canterbury, Cameron Ciraldo right next door with Jason Taylor. Crowd continues to build here very late in the piece with kick-off due 1 minute from now after Canberra took care of business and how in that second half, beating Newcastle 44-18. And Alan Tungan, the ABC Player of the Year, gave 3 points to Matt Timmercore, 2 to Josh Papali'i and 1 to Jamal Fogarty. Manly first team out. Fullback Lehigh Hopewadi, second rowers in game number 100. Jason Saab with Ruben Garrick. Centres Talatau Kola and Tom Trebojevic. 5'8" Luke Brooks, half-back and captain Daly Cherry Evans. The lock Jake Trebojevic. Second rowers Ben Trebojevic and Amoli Olakawatu, who returns from injury. Front rowers Siwa Takiaho and Matt Lodge. Jazz Tavanga, the hooker, and a bench of Gordon Chan Kum Tong, Corey Waddell, Ethan Bullimore and Toa Fofoa Sipley. Tommy Talau, 18th man. Coach Anthony Seabold as Manly heads to the southern end of the Sydney Football Stadium. Playing surface looks patchy. Ground looks amazing though. There's a lot of blue and white around the SFS, and this isn't their normal home ground. It's Stadium Australia. But the Bulldogs fans are still here in great numbers. And Canterbury Bankstown is about to come out. They'll be led by their captain, Stephen Crichton. And let's hope this game lives up to the billing. It well could. And Canterbury will be burning from that elimination final loss to the Seagulls last year. The last time they met 24-22 after they appeared to have the game at their mercy. The Bulldogs, if they win, will move back into second spot on the NRL table. A loss will keep them third. Here they come. Fullback Connor Tracy, wingers Jacob Carraz and Anari Tuala, centres Bronson Sherry and Stephen Crichton, 5'8" Matt Burton, the halfback Lachlan Galvin. The lock Jamin Salmon, second rowers Jacob Preston and Viliami Kickow, front rowers Sam Hughes and Max King with Reid Marnie the hooker, and a bench of Kurt Mann, Harry Hayes, Josh Curran and Bailey Hayward. 18th man is Joseph Rinakama, the coach Cameron Ciraldo, the referee is Ash Klein, he's out there with his judges Dave Munro and Drew Altram and Chris Butler in the bunker. Louis, a day like this, it just feels different, doesn't it?
It feels like a semi-final. It really does. I know we say it all the time, but a big crowd. Everyone's nice and close. The start of the game, the pre-game stuff, it was absolutely beautiful. Watching all the old teams stand there making that guard of honour as the players run out, it's a pretty special feeling. So
it gave me a chill, Lou.
Yeah, it feels like a dead set of semi-final right here.
I was a mad Canterbury fan at that time 30 years ago. End up on the field with the boys. It was an amazing memory. Here's the kick-off from Matt Burton. Here we go in 2025. Kick-off taken by Luke Brooks. 7 out from his own line. Passes right to Takiaho, and he swarmed upon him, put to the ground. 12 metres out from his own goal line and 12 in from the western touchline. Manly running right to left as you look at your radio, defending the southern edge. Here's a good carry from southern end, I should say. Good carry from Lodge. 23 out from his own line is where he plays it to Tavanga. Goes right to Jake Trebojevic, and he's knocked to the deck on his own 30-metre line by Preston and Max King. Now left edge coming for the Sea Eagles. 15 metres short of halfway. Tavanga in a dummy half. He'll go short side left to Ben Trebojevic. Crashes into Marnie. Stephen Crichton and one of the defenders, Salmon, and push back now. 8 metres short of halfway. Bring up the last tackle. 10 in from the western touchline. The kick off the boot of Daly Cherry Evans. It was rushed due to the pressure of Max King. And it's down to Connor Tracy. 14 out from the Canterbury line. He returns it. Bang! Hits the deck. Good tackle and chase. Led by Luke Brooks and Siwa by Takiaho. 25 out from the Canterbury line. Played to Galvin. It goes left edge, and here's a brutal bit of defence coming from Jake Trebojevic, and also in there was Matt Lodge. Now Canterbury through Tuala. Works at 30 metres out from their own line at the northern end of the ground. Played to Marnie. He takes off from dummy half. Gains 12 metres. Good run. He'll play it 8 metres short of halfway. No score on the board after the opening 90 seconds. Down Jamin Salmon. He's poleaxed by Jake Trebojevic. 2 short of halfway. Middle of the ground. Played down to Marnie on the last. Goes left to Matt Burton. And the kick down to the wing of Jason Saab. He drops back and fields at 5 metres out from his own goal line. He's going to be caught here about 14 out from his own line. Sherry led the chase along to there with Anari Tuala. Now Manly Warringah with the ball. Tom Trebojevic hits it up into Marnie and King. 28 out from his own line. Good play the ball to Cherry Evans. Sends it left to Hopewadi, and he's scored 10 metres short of halfway for Manly. No score. Ball played to Tabunga. He goes left to Lodge. Marnie's there with Lockie Galvin and one other defender coming through. It's Preston on halfway. Good set though for the Seagulls. 20 in from the western touchline. Blindside. Tabunga to a running Brooks. Marnie and Crichton bring him down. 34 out. Last tackle Manly. Ben Trebojevic dummy half. Goes right. Cherry Evans, a kick from 32 metres out. Talatau Kohler chasing it through with Olakawatu. Tracy the catch. Kohler the tackle laid out from the Canterbury line. 2.5 gone, no score. Louis, this is like a semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, Manly's attitude, they have turned up. They are brutal in defence. They're running hard and direct when they've got the ball, and they're making a lot of metres against this Bulldog side. So great start for the Seagulls.
Bronson Sherry hits it up left edge. Taken 22 out from his own line and 20 in from the eastern touchline. Plays it, it comes back open side right for the Bulldogs. Here's an offload away to Connor Tracy. Goes to his left, and Burton's flung to the ground by Cherry Evans. 15 short of Tom Trebojevic. 15 short of halfway. Down Max King. Bounced away from Takiaho, who comes back at him with Jazz Tabunga. And he'll play it 7 short of halfway on the last. The kick this time from Galvin. Right foot kick straight down the throat of Lehigh Hopewadi. Didn't have to move. 14 out from his own line. Brings it over the 20. Then puts on a bit of a run. Fends away from the first man, Preston. Now caught 29 out from his own line. He'll play it 3 bit gone. No score. Early thoughts downstairs. Johnny Gibbs.
Well, great atmosphere. It's quite incredible. Every charge is being roared by the crowd, and the only ground they made there was after a good offload from Jacob Carraz. Apart from that, Manly's defence, led by Jake Trebojevic, is rock solid.
Now Manly 5 short of halfway. Ben Trebojevic plays to Tabunga. Goes right to Lodge. Knocked to the deck. A metre in Canterbury's territory by Hughes, King and Marnie. Tabunga goes left to Brooks. Show and go. But he's caught. 11 metres in Bulldogs half by Preston, and also Galvin on the last. Cherry Evans from 39 metres out. Kohler chasing the kick. Tracy takes it. Kohler takes him again, and then he threw a silly ball away that fortuitously Jacob Carraz was folding around and took it off the ground. 17 out from the Canterbury line. Comes left to Stephen Crichton. He's wrapped up on his own 20, so definitely territorially, albeit only after 4 minutes, it's advantage Manly Warringah. As now the Bulldogs have it. Carraz knocked to the deck. 22 out from his own line. That's play 3. Marnie centre left to Tracy. Away Burton to Billy Army. Kick out. Runs into traffic, including Olakawatu, and Tom Trebojevic. He's shoved back. 21 out from the Canterbury line. They can't get out of their own way, but now Matt Burton makes a break from first receiver. Splits them. Then gets ankle tapped by Olakawatu. Gets up to go again to the 40. Threw a specky out the back to Anari Tuala. He's tackled 38 metres out. The crowd thought it was a high tackle by Saab, but the referee says around the chest. Last play, Galvin puts it up down towards Lehigh Hopewadi. He takes it 6 out from his own line and immediately falls to the ground because he could hear the footsteps of Billy Army. Kick out coming. 8 out from his own line. Now to the left on play 2, Tom Trebojevic. Tackle 15 out from his own line. 5 minutes gone. Luke Lewis, no score in a game of high intensity.
Yeah, real high intensity game of footy, but Manly, the only thing I can say that they're getting wrong is their short side defensive structures. They've had 3 times they've had an opportunity, the Bulldogs, to go down the short side. They've had 4 on 2, so they've just got to get their defensive splits right, the Manly side.
Howlett doesn't play the ball correctly. It's been lost. It was a sluggish play the ball from Talatau Kohler. First mistake comes, and Canterbury Bankstown will get a scrum feed. 30 out from the Manly line. 5 minutes 30 gone. No score, but the Bulldogs will have their first real chance to apply pressure on the Seagulls. Around the grounds, full-time Queensland Cup. Redcliffe Dolphins defeated Ipswich 26-16. Three-quarter time AFL, Collingwood 82, leading Richmond 47. And in the second term, Melbourne 50, leading St Kilda 15. In the NRLW earlier today, and there's still one game to come tonight, I'll get to that in a sec as Canterbury Bankstown wins the scrum and Burton scored 27 out from the Manly line. NRLW Newcastle 30 beat Parramatta 6, and same scoreline in Wollongong. Brisbane 30 beat St George Illawarra 6. Now Canterbury play 2. 25 out, Max King plays the ball. Marnie goes right. Salmon away, Galvin turns it into Preston. Takiaho is there and help comes from Lodge. Wooshka, down he goes, 18 metres out. 20 in from touch, western side. Marnie dummied open side, goes short side right.